What's up, guys? Welcome to the first ever episode 138 of the Kind of Funny Gamescast. As always, I'm Tim Gettys, joined by one of the coolest dudes in video games, Greg Miller.
Tim, you are looking so good today, and I can't put my finger on what makes you look so good today. Andy looks great today.
Thanks.
At least you're phoning in. But everybody, I mean, like, there's something about us three. They're handsome gentlemen today.
Maybe it's kindoffunny.com/story. Maybe we can find the answer there.
Now, here's the big thing. A lot of people are probably watching over there on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames, and you're like, man, do they only sell one shirt? There's only one way to find out. Go to kindoffunny.com/store, see if we have any other shirts, or if it is just this one bridge one.
And joining us once again, the Hispanic heartthrob, Andy Cortez.
Candy corn.
Oh,
Tez.
Andy.
Candy corn Tez.
Oh,
it was.
Is that going to be one of your?
Candy?
I did that. I did that last year. Yeah, it was a huge hit. I felt like
it was a huge hit.
Yeah.
Will you change your Twitter handle and your name?
No, like you change your display name. It was Candy Corn Tez.
Don't do that. I hate that.
Really?
I hate that. I hate the ones that are like, whoever at PAX, like, nah.
No,
I
never
Jen
do.
does
You
that
never do
sometimes
that?
too. Now,
Never
come
do.
on.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't either.
It's helpful for people.
It's
And
healthy.
joining us for the first time,
Helpful how?
Elyse Willems.
You know where I am.
Ba, 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 ba.
Funhaus.
Thanks so much for having me. This has been a fun day.
No, thank you
Thank you
for
for
coming
doing
We
so
went
much
to
with
Target together.
us. We went to
Yeah,
Target.
we did,
did
huh?
2 podcasts together.
Yeah.
That's a lot. I don't think we've ever done back-to-back proper podcast, like GOG and Gamescast with a guest.
Okay, with a guest, that might
Yeah,
be might be the one where we've.
So
yeah.
I'm pretty excited.
Yeah?
You know?
Are you feeling loose? 'Cause this is the thing,
I'm
yeah.
a little loose, loosey-goosey.
Okay.
Eat more corn.
No, the corn. Oh my god.
This is the Kind of Funny Gamescast. Each and every week we get together, talk about video games, all things we love about them, all things going on in the world of video games. You can get it early by going to patreon.com/kindoffunnygames, or you can get it late by going to youtube.com/kindoffunnygames. Either way, we appreciate you. You can watch it live with us for just $1 on Patreon. You should do that. Also, for $1, if you want to watch the VOD later, you can do that.
It's $1, man.
And you get Party Mode, Andy's show. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Early, a week early. Right now, we're about to turn to that, but
yeah.
as of right now, a week early. That's a definitive statement.
The motion carries.
Motion carries. The next one's going to be good.
If we end this show when it's published and everything's up and it's done, and we see a spike in sales of this shirt, are we all going to wear the same shirt from here on out?
Forever?
Yeah.
Just this shirt.
I guess heads up, audio listeners, we're all wearing the same shirt except
Yeah,
Elyse.
yeah.
That was
Do
the
I
joke.
get a cut for being present?
Yeah. I say so.
I say so.
Not wearing the shirt.
Yeah, they're not really supporting the team.
present,
You know, I mean, you're
well-
present. I mean, people wanted you really badly. They've been forever
That's very
saying they
nice
want
of
Elyse on the
them.
show. They want Elyse on the show. So you're gonna bring in more views. I understand.
Yeah.
I hope so. God, I hope.
Here's what when your show goes live, just make a very bad Photoshop of yourself in this shirt, and then we'll give you a cut.
Andy, do it.
I'm on it.
Can you Photoshop Elyse?
Yeah.
Into the shirt? You designed
I
this
can-
shirt.
Yeah.
Did you?
You didn't even work for us. You just did it.
Yeah.
Wow.
We
I love
paid him,
this
right?
design. No, we didn't pay
Oh,
him.
really? No. Okay.
No. We
I was
offered
like-
to
I was
pay
like,
him.
Just pay you now?
I was like, just buy me
give him a
drinks.
career.
in
Give him a
classic
life.
Andy fashion, he didn't want to have to deal with all of it. So I was like, "Oh, dude, we'll pay you." And he's like,
Oh,
I was
that's
like, I was
so
like, dude,
right.
I was like, just fill out this paperwork and we'll pay. He's like,
It is
Can you just
easier
not?
sometimes.
That is such that gave you an early peek into who I am as a
It
person.
did.
Where he was like, "Well, no, here's the money. We like just fill out, like get the invoice." And
Yeah.
I was like, "It's just a lot of shit,
You have to
man."
pay taxes.
like I remember I told him, I was like, "Hey,
don't.
just send me an invoice." And he's like, "What is that?"
I'm a
like,
draft
"What?" I was
dodger.
I was like, just Google invoice. And he was like,
What, Andy?
When I was in college, drew a comic strip for the school newspaper, and I was like, easy money. This is great. Gonna be able to spend it on beer every weekend because there's 2 cartoons a week. I was rolling. I should have been rolling in it. But when I went to get the money, they were like, all right, cool. You need your social security card. And like my parents had just split up, and like everything was everywhere, and I was like, fuck it. And I just did the strip free for an entire year. But then like I had to take a few semesters off because I was doing other journalism stuff. And then when it came back around, I was like, you know what? I'm bitter and salty I never got paid. So I'm going to do the comic again just for the paycheck, and phoned it in for an entire semester because I'm a bad person.
"You're a good." Was that your little frog comic?
No, this was The Adventures of Gary and Quinn. And what it was is that the football coach at the time was Gary Pinkel. The basketball coach was Quinn Snyder. And so it was their
Quinn Snyder.
shenanigans.
I love that.
You know Quinn Snyder.
Quinn
yeah?
Snyder.
Utah Jazz now, right?
I don't know, but there was a good joke about him that like Quinn Snyder looks like the villain in a movie that was this is a disaster. Never mind, guys.
Do you
Not
remember
to mention, our audience doesn't know anything about sports.
Do you remember any of your strips?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, when I was on point with them, like I had a bunch of good ones of because it was all pulled from like what was happening and like with the school and the sports teams or whatever. But then there had been a rumor at one point about I probably shouldn't say this. I'll tell you. I'll tell you.
Juicy as hell.
There was a rumor going around about one. There was a rumor going around. I mean, there's no way around about one of the coaches I just mentioned having an affair with one of the players' girlfriends or whatever.
Whoa.
And I put that in a strip.
That's hot.
And then
wow.
one of those coaches probably pulled me aside. It was like, what the fuck, man? And I was like, ah.
Like, dude.
Wow.
Too real. Too
real.
soon.
That's fucking cool,
And then you
man.
drew a follow-up strip of just a humble cartoonist being pulled aside.
Getting roughed up, shenanigans.
That's really
Before
good.
we went live, you were talking about Costume Quest 2.
Yeah.
That you're excited to play it because
I was saying Halloween's coming up. We already have the Friday the 13th stream here. It'll be on twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames of Friday the 13th. It'll be me and Cool Greg for sure playing. Maybe we'll invite other people. Am I going to buy a Jason mask? I think I might. I think I might get a hockey mask for this one. You know what I mean? But then, yeah, I saw it today when I was planning out more Game Over Greggy shows because we just have a bajillion of them happening all the time now. That Tuesday, the 31st, Halloween, we don't need to do the show that day, so I put in a Halloween stream there. And so the question is, do I play more Friday the 13th, Cool Greg? Do I play Costume Quest 2? Because if you remember, I was the first person ever to back Costume Quest 2 by giving Tim Schafer a $5 check on Up at Noon and then never shutting up until it actually happened. And then it actually happened, and I never actually beat Costume Quest 2. I got halfway through, something happened, got distracted, never came back, and I thought about sitting down to play all that.
So because for me, Crash Bandicoot was that game where it's just like I was asking for it, and I got it, and then I did play it. But the reason I bring this up is because James, his game is Psychonauts 2.
He loves Psychonauts.
And that's happening. And how excited is he about that? Has there been any like updates on that, or is that just
No.
one of those things that was like we're doing it and it's been silent?
No, but he is going camping with Tim Schafer and the team because that was a Kickstarter, a FIG goal, and there was a very, very generous fan.
Did you say fake goal?
FIG.
Oh, fig.
A very generous fan that
Got that for
goal.
James?
And James was like, he's like, I can't accept it. And the guy was like, no, please, it'd make me really happy if you would do this. So
Wow, that's really
I don't know
cool.
when it's going to, I think it may be in the next, year or
Has he
so.
met Tim and everything before?
Yeah, he has.
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
Tim Schafer is like
The best.
the best, man.
He's been on a million of these shows. He does the morning show for us when nobody can fill in.
But no like real update on he's going to do that little cameo or whatever. No real update.
Did he
on
did he play Rhombus of Ruin, the VR one?
I think he did.
Yeah. I haven't heard when it came out. Like I'm not the biggest Psychonauts fan. Like I enjoy it fine. I really do need to go back and play the PS2 remaster or whatever on PS4. But so like I never felt the urge to jump into the VR game. But I know a lot. It came and went, but it didn't seem like anybody ever really talked about it. So I didn't know if a fan was all over it.
No, I think he probably played it at an event or something.
Sure.
but,
That's PSVR only, right?
Yeah.
yeah, we don't have a PSVR.
Oh, well, you guys suck. I didn't realize Funhaus was doing that badly.
Yeah, you guys love
You guys
your
got
PlayStation
any
over
Vitas? You
here,
got any
huh?
Vitas? Yeah, we do.
We
you
don't,
know.
I don't know if anyone at Funhaus owns a Vita.
I'm not surprised.
Definitely Bruce does not.
How much creativity?
If anybody,
do
it'd
they
be
own?
Lawrence.
Irish Gamer
Yeah.
Man wanted to know: do you own a PlayStation Vita?
I do not. There was one like week back when Danganronpa was only on the Vita, or sorry, Ian, that we worked together at Game Trailers. I was like, can I borrow your, so I could play this? And he was like, sure. But then after a week, he was like, I need this back. And I was like, oh, well, I've been like traveling and working. I haven't. And he was like, no, I need
Too
it
bad.
back.
Yeah, you had your shot.
And I was like, okay, never again.
Why did Danganronpa drag you in, or try to drag you in?
There was just something about it being an accessible anime gaming experience in a sense, if that makes any sense.
It makes a lot of
Just
sense,
more so than a lot of more like niche. The mystery element. Yeah. I'm a big fan of 999. So like locked room mysteries.
Sure. Okay.
So I was totally down with the similarities.
So have you played 1 and 2 now that they're on like PlayStation, and now obviously Danganronpa V3 is out as well?
No, I need to go back and actually do them. I've played they're not the same games, but like 999, Zero Time Dilemma.
Yeah.
But I need to go back and do the Danganronpas now that I can actually get them. Play them.
I like the way you pronounced it.
Danganronpa.
Yeah.
She's doing very authentic.
Yeah.
I don't know that that's the proper way.
I'm just used to like Danganronpa.
That's what I say. Mama Kuma. Good old Mama Kuma. What is he up to?
Elyse, what have you been playing?
I can tell you the last 3 games I guess in my personal time I've been playing. The Life is Strange, the new
Before the Storm.
the first episode.
Thoughts?
So
Uh-oh.
no. It was a little slightly jarring to have Chloe voiced by somebody other than Ash. But I still thought the new voice actress did great.
Yeah.
Just, you know. And I liked the story. I never really saw Chloe as someone that I kind of related to.
Mm-hmm.
But they're softening her, and I like that we're getting the kind of a perspective of her and Rachel Amber's friendship.
100%.
It feels... I miss the time rewind mechanic.
Oh, really?
Like, that actually kind of felt like you were puzzling a little bit more. The discs or like comeback mechanic.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's cute, but like it doesn't feel as gamey.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see like how it's going to, as a prequel. I think you always need something that's really going to hook you and compel it, because you know what's going to happen. Ultimately, you know the trajectory of events. So not yet in that first episode did I get something where I was like, okay, I'm really hooked and curious to see what they're going to feed me that's going to keep me interested in this. But how, did you guys play it? Did you?
I did. Yeah, I'm a huge Life is Strange fan or whatever. And so jumping into it, it was like, it's cool they're doing more. All right, great. I hadn't been like, this is an awesome background, by the way. This is a good Ghostbusters background I hadn't seen yet. I hadn't seen what the hook would be to it, but like, yeah, playing through and please shut your face. Sorry. I love your fashion sense. That's Ghostbusters.
Coolest guy in the office.
Oh, okay.
Remember this movie, Ghostbusters?
I've heard of it.
They made video games about it over there. David Crane signed one copy of it. Going through, I wasn't like hungry for Chloe's backstory or anything in there, but when you jumped in, it was the same way for me, where she's always like the punk and she's this and hella, and you're like, okay, cool, and she has blue hair and why. I'm super intrigued and hooked by the fact of watching her mature into that person, and like when she starts wearing the punk thing on her arm, right, and then like she starts wearing a different t-shirt. Yeah, exactly. they go back and retcon why she would say hella.
I love there's an origin story for Hella.
Yeah,
having not played these games, that sounds like the best.
Because that was the big thing, right? Of like they put out there, like so many people cued in on that to hate on that, and then it being the fact that people like NorCal people like yourself who say hella, why would this girl from Oregon say hella? Like they actually went back and gave you a reason of why that would happen.
She's like, oh, the Bay Area is pretty
cool. There was a little tease at the end in the when they were doing that, they always do the preview at the end. There was a silhouette where you're like, who is that? I don't know, but
it was that. I don't miss the rewind mechanic just because I mean, like I liked it fine, but it was also the fact of this is 3 episodes. It's just a story. If they're gonna give me fucking awesome moments like that D&D game. Like when you walk up and get to play,
great.
you get to play Dungeons and Dragons in Life is Strange or whatever, and you go over and it's all based on what you say and do, and it's just them talking in the like 3 different perspectives of like, here's Chloe, here's the board, and the dungeon master, here's this other kid, and you go through and it's so well done of like slow pans in and intense music and all this shit. I was like, yeah, fuck yeah.
I hope you continue playing your D&D
campaign. Yeah, right. Episode. That'd be awesome.
That'd be fun. And then I played the second chapter of Bendy and the Ink Machine. I don't know if you guys...
I haven't heard of this.
What the fuck is Bendy and the Ink Machine?
So you know, like, the classic Max Fleischer cartoons, like...
Yeah, Superman.
And like Betty Boop and that kind of... It's almost... You think of it as early Disney, too, but Max Fleischer was a rival of Disney. Bendy and the Ink Machine, it is kind of like a...
Did you Felix the cat?
He may have.
I feel like,
Felix.
But you're an animator that's returning to a now defunct studio like 20 years after you worked for it, and it has that very like that vibe to the art style. And you created all these characters. One being Bendy, who's kind of like this devilish little guy, and I don't want to tell you too much. There's so much lore about this game online too. Matt Pat has done like a couple game theories on it, which like the episodes are like there's you know you don't do too much like game wise. Like you have an axe. There are these like ink creatures that you do have to fight at points, but it is there's like so much story. It's kind of like another Five Nights at Freddy's where you're like, what's the story?
And it's just slowly being revealed over time as you go.
I played the second one because the next episode, I want to say, is coming out this week.
I'm assuming it's
Steam. Maybe it might be today.
Steam?
So no Felix,
but
it's
on Steam.
Popeye.
But there's like all this lore. And then the most recent thing that I started playing was Hollow Knight.
Ooh, see, I'm waiting for the Switch.
I know, I couldn't do it. I just bought it on Steam.
How is it? Because it looks beautiful. It looks super awesome, but does it stand up compared to now? I feel like we have so many Metroidvania style games.
Yeah, well, it's Metroidvania with light RPG elements, but I love Ori and the Blind Forest.
Sure.
So that was part of the reason why I'm like, oh, this game looks beautiful, and it does. Like, kudos to the artists of this game because they're doing a lot of heavy lifting. Just that style, I think, is luring a lot of people in. And the platforming's great. It's like Ori, where you do unlock abilities and you're building. You don't start with a double jump. You don't start with a dash. That sort of thing. But it is tough. Like it's a tough game, and it has like Dark Souls-ish elements to it, which I guess is now kind
Every
of
game?
the trend with like
Yeah, yeah.
every let's make a side scroller or a platformer that has like a bonfire kind of element or really tough like bosses.
Dodge rolls.
Yeah, but I'm digging it so far. It is tough, and like it is like Dark Souls where you're not necessarily clear on what your exact objective is, but you have to infer and uncover those story layers as you go throughout, and you're kind of piecing together what your objective is, which I'm curious to see whether I'll actually fully understand or comprehend like what that is supposed to be. Because I've kind of like looked to see what the response is, and some people are like, this game got too hard for me, and I just gave up on it. I'm like, I hope I don't
Hit that wall.
don't get there. Hit that wall, yeah, because it is the kind of thing where if you die, you lose everything that you've accumulated, and then you go back to the spot where you died, and you have to fight your ghost.
Oh, that's
like,
cool.
Oh,
it's
that's
not
pretty
really
interesting.
difficult, but say you died at a boss battle, and then you've got to go back and fight your ghost and the boss at the same time. The boss is charging at you, the ghost is
Sure.
charging at you. That's where like
That
those
reminds me of
layers-
Shovel Knight, like having to go
Yeah.
back and get your treasure and
Well,
shit.
what I like about Shovel Knight is I thought they did a really good job of the risk versus reward, where when you die, it's the 3 treasures or whatever that pop up, and you can recollect them, but you don't have to. And I feel like this sounds a bit more like it gets in your way and can like fuck up the actual gameplay.
Yeah.
Whereas the Shovel Knight thing, it was more like if it
Collect
was in
them.
an impossible place, just don't go.
And
Yeah.
if you die on your way to that ghost to reclaim your stuff, you lose all that save. So it can get frustrating in that respect. But yeah, I would say wait for the Switch because
Yeah.
people are going to spend so much time with this game on the Switch, and it's really pretty.
Do we know the release date for Switch version? No.
No, they're
One of
still
these
working on
guys, huh?
that. Yeah.
One of these ukuleles.
There's a whole bunch of them. Ukulele, Stardew, that, but apparently Stardew.
Stardew
Like
just got
2000
approved or
It's
whatever.
got
right?
approved,
Yeah.
so it's coming. It's been an interesting thing with the Switch with the eShop because it seems like a lot of games aren't committing to release dates because they're trying to get the game done and released as soon as possible, so they don't put the date out so that as soon as it's ready in gold or whatever digitally, I don't know how that all works, they can just get it approved and then boom, it's live.
Yeah.
That's why Golf Story
Yeah.
is a perfect example where we heard about it in Nindy's presentation, and then like September comes along, it's in the next Nintendo Direct, and it was like, we have 2 weeks left in September. There's no date. That's fucking
But then,
weird.
do you ever worry that like these games, or maybe do the developers were worried that they're not getting press because there's nothing that you can point to and say like it's coming this time? And
The
that's how
thing
hype
about
machine
that,
goes?
I think right now the rush is that this is literally a gold rush right now. We've seen it. Three games got talked about on Kind of Funny Games Daily today, right? Oceanhorn, Death Squared, and one that I don't remember the name of because I hadn't really heard of it before, but saying that, hey, our Switch version of the game sold more than all the other versions combined.
Wow.
And it was
Because-
just like time after time after time.
Because this is, I mean, the Switch is the new Vita
People are
in terms
dying
of
for
like,
content,
hey,
yeah.
you put out games on this and the audience will buy it. The
I
attach
mean,
rate's insane.
even things like I forgot what show we talked about this on. It might have been Games Daily, but Ultra Street Fighter 2, which
Yep.
was panned by the internet. Like so far of the Switch's like physical real releases or like games that they put focus on, that was their game for May.
James bought it. He spent like $40.
And that's
He
the
buys
thing.
it every time. Every time
Yeah.
Street Fighter 2 comes out.
And that's
he
the thing
buys
is like obviously it's a great game, but like this version does have a lot of issues with it, and the fact that it's $40 is an insult when that game originally came out for $15 10 years ago. The remake, not
Yeah.
let alone the original version, but that game sold more in its first week than Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite did on
Wow.
PS4 and Xbox One, and that is
Combined.
insane.
and I was
I
talking.
don't think it was combined.
Oh, okay.
Gary Whitta was on today, and we were talking about this. Of my concern is because, like, did you see today? We're recording this on Thursday, obviously. All the games that came to Switch today. It's an obscene amount of games.
Obscene. I got the press release in my email from Nintendo, and I was looking through, and I was like, "Oh shit! Lovers in a Dangerous Space Time
Oh, really?
is on Switch." I'm like, I haven't even heard
Great.
about that.
Awesome.
And that's cool.
yeah,
But like, are we getting to the point where there's too much?
I didn't know it was coming to Switch.
No, I didn't either.
It's the thing, yeah, where I think beforehand, are we worried about the press? No, we're not worried about the press. We're worried about people buying it. And now, as this market now is filling up and the shopping place or marketplace is getting so crazy. Thank you, Joey. It's just like, well, we're gonna hit that limit now where it's hard to find games. There's gonna be so many games that they won't all sell like this. So right now, it's literally get your shit out as fast as possible.
You think
worry
it's
about
going
it
to become like a
end.
mobile type situation?
I mean, I think that I think the quality per capita will be better, but I think it's going to get to, how we talk about PSN, Steam, Xbox, like how hard it is to find games there anymore, or how hard it is to separate the good from the bad, how hard it is to get something, an indie game that's on Steam press when there are a million indie games on Steam trying to get press. I think, I was talking about it today, right? You turn on you just hit the power button on your Switch. There's this nice little curation right there of 3 top stories, right, from Nintendo to tell you something about. And we've seen that be Snake Passes out. I've seen it be other little games, and it's not hiding stuff in the way that I think the PlayStation Network does. And being able to jump in and get into that's great. But when there are 14 games every Thursday release, those numbers are going to start to go down in terms of adoption.
I do think that the Switch is going through that kind of early foundation process where there's so many ports, and especially when it comes to indies, I think the indie developers are seeing so much success and so much sales and just numbers. They're like, oh fuck, let's get the game that we did 3 years ago over
Hell
here.
yeah.
Support it.
Yeah.
Like, let's just go. And it's just like, I think that's gonna die down,
Of course,
eventually, and I hope that after that it does become more of a focused kind of systematic thing of Nintendo does an indies presentation, focuses on 15 games, and like we see those kind of trickle out.
I wonder if it'll inspire a lot of indie devs, unless it's just easy for them to push out a PC, version as well, so if that's native. But like if they'll stop developing and only develop for Switch, because like I know a lot of people are like, there'll be an indie game that I'm like, oh, I'm excited for that, like Hollow Knight, for example, or like. And I'm like, oh, there's this game, Owl Boys.
Hell yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I'm really into this game. And then they're like, oh, I'll wait for Switch. I'm waiting for Switch. And so I'm like, oh, everybody's just expecting these games are going to get ported to Switch.
That's the way it is with the stuff that comes out on Switch first, right? Like, I don't expect it to be Switch exclusive forever. I expect Golf Story to be everywhere eventually. It's just the fact that, from what I understand, Nintendo's super aggressive about indies. And hey, if you're publishing on this platform, we want it exclusively for this amount of time. And I think as the deal, you have these developers coming out being like, yeah, we made buku money on it. I think more and more people are going to start doing that, and that'll just be the Switch.
Like talking to Damon Baker, the dude that does the Nindies presentations, like hosts them. I talked to him at E3, and he was talking about how much Nintendo is focusing on getting these independent developers to commit to the Switch and wanting to have something about the Switch be enticing more than just, oh, it's on Switch, but having it be first on Switch or exclusive modes on Switch, or like what they're doing with Rocket League and things like that. And it's so awesome to see, because like that's the Geo Corsi PlayStation mentality of like, we want to look at indie games as a pillar of the Switch.
Yeah.
So it's not just first party, third party, but indie games are just as equal to those other two things in terms of their vision. And I think it's great that we're seeing them with the presentations, showcases, directs, and whatever you want to call them, that each one of those kind of focuses on one of those different pillars.
Was there anything else on that press release that stood out in terms of?
Nothing that I really was like, oh shit, because like Lovers in Danger Space Time is such an awesome game,
great.
and I can just imagine it being so great on Switch, especially if there was the
You're playing with somebody.
Joy-Con support, 2-player. That'd be really interesting. I don't know if it'd be possible, but maybe, because it's not really intensive. In terms
Anything's
of
possible, Tim.
Anything is possible.
Nothing else stood out to you, you're saying? Not even Conga Master Party?
Conga Master Party did not stick out to me, but what did stick out to me, but I already knew about this for a couple of days, Golf Story.
Sure.
Greg, we've been excited for this game. You've been playing
since
it.
that Nindies thing, yeah. Since the Nindies presentation, right? I think we've all been like, this game looks awesome. And this is the thing to your, is it going to be hard, or is it going to, are they going to struggle for discoverability or something? I think it is the fact that if Nintendo continues to do Nindy presentations, they continue to do these special directs. When you get there, you're going to have games that obviously stand out from the pack and that people see and identify with. Like, it didn't work for me, but I know a lot of people I know Joey Noel is excited for that elephant game or whatever.
Not Kubo.
Trumbo.
Something like that.
Dumbo?
No, what the hell is it called? I remember when it came out on Xbox One.
But like, that's the thing where I think things will stand out to different people.
Oh, that game already existed.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
If I'm thinking of the same game.
Little
It's
cute
like
elephant.
Trumbo.
Yeah, that sounds right.
To be clear, Lovers in Danger Space Time out October 3rd. but it was in today's press release. I was like, why didn't I read that on Kind of Funny Games Daily? Not that I'm here to nickel and dime you.
No, I just looked at the press release.
No, I hear you.
But that's the other thing too that's impressive about Nintendo for me as a Nintendo fan that's been on Nintendo's press email for years now. God, how sad it was for so many years to get the email and be like, out this week, and it'd be like, no, quote unquote, real game. And then the downloadable stuff would be like, here's on the Wii U eShop, there's DLC for some game that you've never heard of. And then 3DS eShop is a bunch of other random shit. And it's like some of them really quality things.
Yeah.
But it's just like, what the fuck? And now it's like every week is this huge list. And I'm like, yes.
Yeah. No, it's nice to see them thriving, right? And I think it's going back to what they knew would make this Switch work and survive is the fact that Nintendo can't live on its exclusives alone. It can't live on Mario. It can't live on Zelda all by itself. We saw that with the Wii U, right? But you put out great indie stuff on it. You put out all these different people. You now start to have companies like Ubisoft wake up and be like, oh well, yeah, we should partner with them. We should make something.
I would argue with the Wii U though. And this is important to put out. Sure. It didn't have a Mario. It didn't have a Zelda. Like, it didn't have the proper thing that people would expect from those games until the end with Zelda, obviously, and that doesn't count.
Yeah. So Wii U sucked, just for a minute. And just
it had great games.
It did? I know, and that's why I'm glad they're all coming to Switch.
It never got the core games that maybe could have made it.
Can you believe it's a fucking month till Mario Odyssey?
No,
like, we're that close to Mario Odyssey.
I'm so jealous that Bruce is going to be here.
Oh, when it comes. I didn't put that together. Is he here when Mario?
Well, he's like here right after because I'm like, oh, he gets to talk to you guys about
and he gets
Mario.
To play it on the
he gets to go on a plane. Yeah.
But Golf Story, Greg.
Golf Story. I've been playing it. Andy's been
it?
playing it. We are golf fanatics here. That's what.
You've been playing it too?
Oh yeah.
Oh man, I'm so jealous.
Yeah, you got to get your shit together, huh?
I do.
Yeah. What is so enticing about it is just that a lot of people who have seen it. I don't have any background with this, but it looks like Mario Golf.
It's Mario Golf on the Game Boy Color.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's the thing where people are super into it. I was into it because we were heads down in everybody's golf from the PlayStation exclusive, and crazy about that. And so when the Nindies event happened and they showed this game, it was like, oh my, this is like the answer to us. Literally, when we're sitting around playing everybody's golf, it's like, this is fun, but man, this would be great on Switch. It'd be great to.
I thought it was only gonna be a Steam game when I first saw the trailer. I think close to when I first got hired around here.
Oh really? Wow.
And I was like, oh, it's probably gonna be a Steam game. I probably won't play it.
Yeah.
And then the Nindies presentation happened. I was like, oh my god, this is a Switch game. Holy shit.
Yeah.
And it really is a lot like Mario Golf on Game Boy Color. The dialogue's super cute and
so funny.
It's so charming.
Yeah. They're little, pixel characters, but they all have their own personalities.
Yeah.
They all have these different things.
Totally.
Like, there's already intrigue on the golf course. Yeah. Like, why is this guy running it?
Drama. Yeah.
He's trying to sell knockoff clubs and shit. The coach won't coach me. What the fuck's going on?
How anime is it though?
Anime. I don't think it's very anime.
No.
But again, you know how much anime I watch too. I can't tell you.
So is your objective to become like the #1 golfer in the world or something like that?
Right now, it's coming up from bootstraps. You want to be trained. You want to get this coach. You're like fulfilling. It starts with a flashback to you and your dad playing golf, and
that's so sweet.
You want to. You're trying to honor your father here and go out and get good at golf.
It's so cute. And then 20 years later, it's like, hey, I'm trying to get back into it, and I'm back on the course, and I'm gonna do right by my father. And
is he dead? And he's like, no, he's just.
He's just over there. He's on vacation. Thought I'd come back and be a golfer.
Is the gameplay of the actual golf system, whatever it is?
Yeah.
I haven't actually seen. All the gameplay I've seen is just been overworld.
It is the only thing that it does weird that it doesn't do like every other fucking golf game does is like the behind the back view when you're about to shoot.
Okay.
You're shooting from the top down, just like from every view that you see down here. But it's the same three dot skill check or whatever. It's obviously not as technical as most golf games, but you can, once you set your shot, you can set, I want to put backspin and I want it to draw a little bit or slice or or hook or whatever. It's obviously not as technical as a game like everybody's golf, but
and that's been the one thing
great.
for me. I've been playing. How long was Gamescast? An hour and a half?
GOG.
Yeah, sorry,
hour 15.
And I probably put in 10 minutes, 10, 15 before that. So I played an hour and a half of it or whatever, and I've just gotten through my first 9-hole. Like, hey, we have to have a competition. The rest of it's been running around. It's been little challenges of like, oh, you get it into this. Yeah.
Because to what Tim said, I've looked over your shoulder periodically, and I've never seen you play golf once. I've seen this game.
Yeah, right now I've got this caveman wants me to race around.
What intrigue is Greg up to on the course?
I don't. This caveman dude wants me to run around. There's tar pits in his course too that I'm running.
So essentially, the first guy that you're gonna meet, he's like, you go up to a group. He's like, hey, can you give me lessons? And he's like, no, it's $14.95. So you have to make $14.95 in order
That's bullshit.
for me to give you lessons.
Microtransaction bullshit.
All of his like students on the course are like, yeah, beat it, like punk or whatever. You know, like, like we're paying customers or whatever. And so eventually you're like, okay, well I have to run around the course and figure out how to make money. So there's like a mom and her son is like in the water and there's like alligators in the water. And she's like, oh, my son's out there. What the fuck do I do? So you like hit the son with a golf club. You hit the son with a golf ball and he flies back because he has one of those little spinny hats. So he flies back to so she gives you like $3 and you're doing all these little chores around in order to make the money. But the really intriguing part is you get back and you find the coach.
And you fuck that mom.
Yeah, you fuck her,
that
dude.
mom.
Oh, right.
It's really graphic. But essentially you give him the money and he's like, all right, I'm going to have you do these shots or whatever, these golf shots. So you do them and you kill it. But he's like, nah, you're not good, man. Sorry, you don't have a future. And you're like, what the fuck? Why not? And this other little fucking snotty kid is like, hey, check out my shot.
Sparrow.
He's like, how's my shot, coach? And he hits it.
terrible.
And he fucks it up. He hits it like 2 in the fucking bunker.
2 slices.
Yeah. And the coach is like, looks great. And you're like, whoa, something's up here, dude.
This is there's shenanigans afoot.
And then
Oh
so
my
you
God.
go talk to the snotty kid, and the snotty kid's like, yeah, want to battle sort of thing. And like, I guess it is kind of like Pokemon in that sense. So
Yeah,
you
that's,
like,
that's what I'm saying. That's the anime that I'm talking about.
I'm so into it. I can't wait to get back to it.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
It's how long? How much is it?
$15.
$15 on
Yeah.
the Switch, available now
$14.99.
for everyone.
Just like
$14.95.
the-
$95.
$95, I guess.
Well, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I blew it.
It's so special.
You weren't
That's so
listening.
cool.
It's all
Hey.
So Greg, though, is it as good as you wanted it to?
Yeah, no, totally. I'm all
Hell
in.
yeah.
I want to play more of it. I think, as something to break me from Destiny, or when Jen's all selfish and wants to watch a movie with me rather than let me play Destiny, I can play this then. On the down low, she won't know. You know what
Have
I
you been
mean?
playing anything else?
Well, more Destiny, of course. Yeah.
And after the Destiny?
Yeah, a little bit more Destiny
That's
after
more
that.
Destiny.
Yeah, you know what I mean. I'm almost got the trophy for my stupid Titan. I know
Got
you've
it.
been worried about this.
I have been. I'm
Then
gonna
I'll have to
pee
go
while
do
you
the
talk about
Warlock
this.
trophy. Then I gotta go through and do the
Warlock
other thing.
Master Race, man.
How much of the War of the Factions have you been playing, Andy?
I barely selected my faction.
What
Future
you
War
went?
Cult.
You went Future War Cult?
Yeah,
Yeah, me too.
Because they have the coolest lobby
Yeah.
and the coolest looking gear, and apparently, like they have a really dope ass pulse rifle and scout rifle.
Okay.
So I'm looking forward to.
Have you done
eventually
any of the
getting those.
farming of tokens? Have you seen this whole thing?
No.
There's because you can go into lost sectors, do it, but not kill the boss, warp back out, come back in, and just do it all over again.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I did that for a while.
Is that
opening
like
night.
cheesing it? Or
Yeah,
you-
oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's cheesing big
I
time.
wasn't sure
Yeah.
if that was like how you actually do it or not.
No, I don't know if it's been patched.
No,
yet,
I
but
haven't done any of that though. The first night, so I selected my faction, and then my roommates were like, "Hey, do you want to play Crucible?" And we're like, "Yeah, sure." And then of course we got fucking trounced.
Sure.
And I'm just not very good at PvP.
Do you already have the trophy for the War of the Nine? Have you done that thing? Or Trials of the Nine? Or the
No.
Nine? Okay.
Wait, no. I don't think so.
Okay.
I've been to. I think we only won like 3 matches. I don't
Okay.
know. Not very good at PvP at least.
No, true.
It's a pain in the ass. But I do it. The fun I find in doing PvP is your daily challenges and your milestones. Like,
Okay.
That's what they should be making.
Yeah,
the fun
and
part of it.
what's fun is like you go into PvP and like you see that like the goals today are like kill people with void weapons or whatever, or kill 50 people with a super, or not 50. It's always like 5 or 10 or something like that. So
Yeah.
they're always like really attainable goals, and they're fun. And that's where I find the cool challenge in Destiny PvP. Because otherwise, I'm not gonna have fun. I'm gonna get my ass whooped. But it's like, oh, I never really use my fucking the flame sword guy.
Sure.
Never use that, but I have to do it for this challenge, so might as well try it out.
Okay.
But no, I haven't done much of the War of the Factions.
Okay.
But I'm slowly weaning myself off of Destiny a little bit.
Yeah.
Getting a little bit less out of it.
Sure.
Wait for the new expansion.
Yeah, that's the thing. I want to get my power level up before I stop, and then I want to also just keep playing too.
That's fun.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Get it to where I can just raid or whatever.
No problem.
I'm sorry. I'm already raiding, obviously. Get it to where the raids aren't, soul crushing and not.
Sure.
I'm like, I want to cry while I play it and just get good enough there to wait then for the expansion. Plus, I want to get that platinum.
What else you been playing, Andy?
I fired up NBA 2K18
Hell yeah!
because I'm a big baller.
Slam a
You are
jam,
a
a
big
tomahawk.
baller.
I'm a
Ball's
big
life.
baller. I'm just slam dunking all across the court.
Okay.
Correct. Man,
You're not playing on Switch.
story mode is so bad.
Yeah.
You're playing on PS4.
I saw that.
Right?
I'm playing on PS4. Yeah.
I was thinking of trying to like coerce Funhaus into like let's play it, but then I was looking at some of the reviews and they were not that
We want
Positive.
to do a party mode where we do like 2v2
Yeah.
or like Greg versus Nick and just
For the
have us
championship, that's
commentating.
happening.
We're gonna do that. But man, the my career, create a player, this is your guy. I've always loved that mode in 2K, and I haven't played in the last like year or so. I stopped at the year where it was a Spike Lee joint.
Oh no.
That's the year that I like didn't play it.
You didn't play. Why didn't you play the Spike Lee joint?
I don't know why I stopped.
Okay, not like Spike Lee, not a Knicks fan.
But also the year prior to that was like the last year I played, and it was just abysmal because they had actual players who were acting. So like if you got drafted to you would get drafted to a certain set of teams, right? So I got drafted to the Pelicans. Eric Gordon is sort of like your mentor, and Eric Gordon, good lord, dude, Eric Gordon is. Elyse Willems, what have you been playing? Like, you could tell he's reading a fucking script and he shouldn't be put through this, you know?
This isn't one of his skills.
Yeah, this is like he's a 3-point shooter. He's a 3-and-D guy, Greg, all right?
Yeah.
He's good for defense, he's good for 3-point
Not
shots.
for the readings.
Nope, not for the readings. He got signed to the Houston Rockets, killed it last year. But he's just terrible. Like, and all the actors are terrible. All the basketball athletes are terrible actors and they're really bad readers. And there's like really great montages of the cutscenes of them reading like, hey man, you did really great today. You should also come to the team next week. Like you could tell like where they're like reading commas and shit. It's
Like,
awful.
I love basketball.
Yeah, I love basket.
They have to ADR it.
Yeah. So I started 2K18 and of course you give your guy a name, Andy Cortez.
Yeah, you do.
Right? But Andy Cortez is playing as DJ. Because
Yeah, nicknames and shit.
you so the last time I played was like 2 years ago, I believe, and you were Prez. That was your name, PERZ.
Class president.
So like what he would do is like if you fouled somebody, he'd be like, my name is Prez, and I approve of that foul. Presidential pardon. He would say shit like that. It was like really, really stupid. He had
That's
like
really
his own
good, though.
persona.
That's really
It's
good.
fun.
Yeah.
What's
So-
the DJ do now? He's dropping bombs.
So
left and
DJ,
right?
he gets you're applying for like some like street league sort of invitational or whatever, and one of the guys recognized. He's like, "Oh, I remember you're DJ, huh? So how's that DJ life treating you? You quit basketball for it, didn't you? So it's like you quit basketball 4 years ago. You're trying to come back to the game
Like
after
long
like
shots.
yeah, exactly. So after failing as a DJ, and I didn't get far into it. I was like, this is fucking bad, man. But the gameplay feels great, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it fucking. But you can cross over some punks.
Did you
and-
see the microtransaction shit everybody's been up in arms about?
No, I haven't gotten anywhere near. Like, essentially, I did the part where you play a few games to sort of show that you have what it takes, Greg.
Sure.
And then you select your favorite team early on, and as you're leaving one of these like street ball leagues, some guy's like, "Hey, DJ," and you're like, "Yeah, what's up, man?" He's like, "Okay," and you're kind of like very standoffish, like, "Yeah, fuck this guy," and he's like, "I'm a scout for the San Antonio Spurs," and so you're like, "What?" Yeah, so you kind of freak out, and then you essentially go to the team's like fucking practice area, and you're like, "Hey, we wanted you to try out with the third stringers." Karl Maloney's back. Everybody's back. So you try out with the third stringers, and then you do well enough to like, "Hey, you tired?" And you're like, "Nah, man, I'm not tired." He's like, "Are you sure you're not tired? Because if I see you like, being
Yeah.
lazy
Dragging
out there,
your
I'm
heels
gonna
out
pull
there,
you."
yeah.
So you play against the starters, and of course you kill it. So they're like, "You know what? We're gonna offer you a year contract."
Then you collapse and there's a mini game and it becomes trauma center.
Yeah.
Of getting the spiders out of your lungs.
What's really awful about it though is like you go back to your apartment and your apartment is like a fucking basketball gym. Like and so like you have
Yeah.
but you have like this this female friend who's like your best friend.
Oh.
And she's this Asian woman who's really loud and like kind of acts ghetto-ish, and it's just really bad. Like it's awfully acted. I'm not a huge
Gotcha.
fan of it. But I stopped at the part where now it's kind of like open course in everybody's golf, where now you're in the game, you're in this like open big lobby, and there's other created players around you, and you get to go play street
Other
ball.
DJs.
Yeah, other DJs essentially.
DJs
It's
jamming on DJ.
It's so annoying. But the gameplay feels so fluid and awesome, and
Yeah.
like it always does. It's
Good.
just the story mode. They need to go to another really big reinvention in order to
They need a
make
long
it good
shot.
again.
Yeah.
Because it's
that
a
what it's
long shot, long shot.
Scott Porter, yeah.
Did you ever play Madden?
No.
This
ever played Madden?
long shot in Madden this year's really good.
So they
looks
put
like
in
I
long
played
shot mode in Madden, and it's like story mode, super good. Mahershala Ali is the dad.
Oh, I love him.
It's so sad. It's like he dies.
Dan Marino's in it. He's really good.
Yeah, Dan Marino's
Dan
actually
Marino.
really
Like,
good.
He
Dan
acts.
Marino, Dan
Yeah,
Marino?
yeah.
Well, I knew from Ace Ventura that
Yeah, he's got
was quite
chops,
the,
but he's
the
just been resting
thespian,
him
but-
for like 25 years
Yeah.
to come
Yeah.
back.
For the right
It's straight up like
moment.
Friday Night
17
Lights.
or 18.
Yeah, that's where he's got to be.
It is
So
straight
he's
up
gotta
like
be.
Friday Night Lights like mode. It's really, really
shit.
good. It's really good.
Do you think we should do that on Funhaus? Would
You
it,
should.
would it be worthy
Well, I mean,
of...
you might cry a lot. I think it's like it's so good that you can't really be made fun of.
Okay.
Oh, people make
well,
fun of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, people are mean about it.
Okay.
You know
well,
what I mean? Sarcastic.
that's my 2 cents on NBA 2K.
Interesting. You talk about how bad the voice acting is and the acting in general in NBA 2K.
I know where you're going with
18.
this.
Last time on Kind of Funny Games,
I have something else I've been playing, but go ahead.
Well, we're bouncing around, aren't we?
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
we're
clearly
just-
have something else to say.
yeah,
Can
we're
we just
just
fucking
vibing. We're
ad
just
lib
bouncing,
around?
just
I mean,
vibing.
there's
Yeah,
no-
just
there's
bunch of
no-
friends just
Just
bouncing
like-
around.
Like Mark Wahlberg in The Departed. Just
Yeah,
bouncing
just
off.
Just
being
bouncing
sweaty.
around.
Alec
Hey,
Baldwin.
whoa.
Last time on Kind of Funny Gamescast.
Previously on Kind of Funny Gamescast.
Insert the clip.
Okay. Roll a clip.
What clip?
Insert the clip from last time when I said what I was going to play.
Journey.
Roll a clip.
What clip?
All right, thanks for putting that in there.
Thimbleweed Park.
Thimbleweed Park. Well, I was making a joke like when I, like you
I
like
love it.
Thimbleweed Park. I was talking a good game because I've played it at preview events and been like, yeah, I want to play it. I then didn't want to play it on PC, obviously. Or didn't want to play it on Xbox.
I
Then
played it on Xbox.
Then it was coming to PlayStation. I was going to get trophies. Then it's coming to Switch. I'm like, I'll wait for Switch. So we had this flight down to go see these idiots in LA we got to hang out with. I'm on the plane, actually the airport. Pop in the earbuds, crack my knuckles, turn on Thimbleweed Park, start playing
Time to
Thimbleweed
dive
Park.
in.
Enjoying the first little bit of it and this stuff, and then like Andy got there and I was like, I turned it off. He's like, how's that going? I'm like, I like the writing. These voice actors are so bad. Like I just don't like any of their performances, their delivery, their accents. I'm like, I don't know what to do.
But I think that was because it was such a small operation at that time.
Sure.
Can I ask you a question about how it plays on Switch?
Yeah.
So, when you're, because you obviously you have to click on an action.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then
like,
click on.
move here, play
Can you
this.
just like touch screen like doop doop?
Yep. Yeah.
Man, fucking play on it. I should have played it on PC. I played it on Xbox,
So
so
you had to
every
move
time
the
I'd have
cursor?
to drag the cursor,
No,
drag
no,
it
no,
back.
with
Man,
that,
that must
no,
be
with that.
Destiny
so
style?
sweet.
No, it's super nice. Here, I'll click it over for you.
So tight.
Like it's the thing where I'm not I'm not an adventure game guy for the most part, right? Like the old school Telltale games, I didn't really want to do. And whenever Tim's here and he's like, "Oh man, did you play this game or that I made or that game that I made?" I'm like, "Nah." I played Full Throttle with Poe once. We enjoyed that, but nothing else. So jumping into this one, I was like, "All right, cool." I like the idea of it. There's been this murder in this town. How do
She's
you
so
go
in love
through
with it.
Yeah. I like the style of it. I'm playing it on the casual. There's like, do you want casual or like seasoned difficulty? And casual is more like forgiving of, yeah, what the fuck do I click on how to do it? But like, I was playing it. It might have been that it was early. You know what I mean? Like we were trying to take off. We're doing
We were in
different
the
things.
Southwest Terminal. It was disaster.
But it was this thing of like, I'm really into this. And then they start talking and I'm just like, ooh.
Is the clown's voice okay?
I didn't even get to the clown.
Holy shit, this makes it so much easier to play.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And that's the thing is I'm going to get back to it. I think I'm going to turn it off.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go back and just turn off the voices, but it was just like the main guy you're playing as in this duo of
Hours
detectives. I was
wasted.
just like, I
You're
can't.
having a fucking meltdown right now.
I can't believe the difference. You're so Greg.
Here I am saying I don't like the voices. Fuck me. You know what I mean? So I need to get back to it. But yeah, it just did not hit on the note I thought it was going to.
You don't think they were trying to parody like Dana Scully or anything?
Oh, I think they were, but I think she's just like a joyless voice in there that I just don't enjoy listening to.
you see
And
the picture of them
The guy has a
kneeling?
weird accent. Do I have what now? Oh yeah,
No, it's kind of interesting.
Fox Mulder and Dana
Yeah.
Scully.
Like
Yeah.
X-Files, we kneel.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
like, wow.
Yeah, okay.
Interesting
So
marketing.
jealous.
And then in
of
a
you.
similar vein, coming back from the trip down to LA for the Let's Play reunion, I booted up another Lost Phone, or the sequel to a normal Lost Phone
yeah.
or whatever. And I think again, this was of course 5 a.m, so that might play into it or whatever because I'm just reading texts and doing all this different stuff. It didn't hook me like the first one did.
I started the first one on PC, and is it available on like Android? Do you know?
Wow, yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
I should go back and do it that way because I was like, I don't really know if I'm in. Maybe I wasn't in the right mood for it, but yeah, it didn't get
The
me.
first one I
didn't
really
get me.
enjoyed, and it was like, oh man, this is intriguing of like what's going on and where. And I forget what it was. Something about the, you start the first one, you scroll back through these texts from your father, and it's like,
You
okay,
get, like,
cool.
the code with the lock pin.
Oh yeah. But I'm just talking about you scroll back
Yeah.
and see this relationship with his father and the family, and then to the like, where are you? We're worried about you. What's happening? Kind of thing. In this one, I jumped in there. I thought like there was more information available at the beginning or whatever, but I'm reading back through this chat log or what I guess text log with your boyfriend, and I'm going back and forth there. I'm just like, it might be that I was reading it wrong, but this was enough of like, it was just a bridge too far for me to believe of like, it sounds like when the guy leaves, she moves in with him. When he leaves the apartment, the door locks and you can't unlock it. Like she's trapped there like a prisoner. And I was like, that doesn't sound real at all. Like I don't understand what that is. Maybe I'm misreading this context, but I kept going and that's the context I'm pulling. I'm gleaming from it or whatever. So like I'm already like, well, this guy just sounds like a psychopath or something's weird here. And he keeps making up excuses why he didn't make her a key yet. I'm like, all right, like I don't really understand. And then I got to like where she disappears or whatever, and like, where are you? I'm worried about you, blah blah blah. And like I went back and started reading the other text messages. None of them seemed all that like, oh, this is what's going on. Like I don't know, she's just missing. Was there a train accident? I'm not sure. And I'm like, I know it won't be long. I should go back and get back into it and see if it catches me moving. Maybe it was just that was the morning and I wasn't in the mood for it. But
yeah, it's sometimes games like that. It's a definite mood.
Yeah,
mental
100%.
Place. Right. Not to derail that, but
that's pretty much it for me.
It's tangentially related, I guess. But are you an Emily is Away fan?
We both are
okay,
huge.
I need to go back and play that, and Emily is still away.
Emily's away too.
Yeah,
Away
too.
Yeah. Yeah,
so you never beat it?
I've never played them.
You got to.
Emily is Away is such a special game that I love both so much, and both of them are so good in totally different ways.
I feel like I saw Tim tweet about.
Oh
this
my
a
god,
long
it's
time
one
ago.
of the. It might be my favorite Let's Play we've ever done.
Wow,
where
okay.
me and Greg played through the entire second game in one 4-hour sitting, and got wasted.
This is great.
And it was so damn good. But yeah, no, those games they're so great, and
they're super special.
It's like this game when you first were pitching me on the prequel to it. Like it sounds cool. But Emily is Away just nailed that to me because it's like, I like that this is modern and it's like you're actually using your phone to do all this stuff, but there's something about the setting of using aim and during a time period.
Yeah, the sounds,
like
the looks.
All the things of like the references to the music that was coming out during
I gotta do that.
2004 or whatever. It's
Benjamin,
like,
man.
So good. Yeah,
of course.
Let me know what you think about it.
I remember like I
fantastic.
first saw it at an Indiecade, but then like I think I was like, this doesn't really seem like a great game to sit down and play.
It's definitely not
now.
a preview game. No.
Yeah, you know, when you're in a tent outside in Culver City, you're not gonna. But I definitely love games like that.
And the thing about the original A Normal Lost Phone, right, was I felt like there were like, again, leaps in logic of how this all works, where it was like, okay, this is interesting. It was short too. It wasn't like, I was spending hours on it. And I don't know how long this one's going to be either, but I feel like this one is like, let's put more in there and try to gamify it more. And like, this is like, so I went in to try to get into like this little secure thing and you put in a passcode, I guessed it and it didn't work. And then it's like, incorrect password, your hint. Some of the following information: year of birth of my first boyfriend, plus office number of my penultimate boss, plus street number of the place where I and Amanda met for the first. I'm like, all right, we're gamifying that a bit too much in terms of like, what the fuck's going on.
Who uses the office number of their penultimate boss as part of
it like
a
spells it
pin?
all out, and then it's because then it's that thing of just like, okay, cool. Like, and when I started playing it at 5 a.m. in the terminal, right? In the last one, I don't remember ever having to take notes. It was like pretty clearly as I started going in this one, I'm like, I should probably have a piece of paper and a note. And I'm like, I don't really feel like doing that.
I thought you were reading Literotica when I saw you playing the game.
I thought you were writing in erotica. Right? The last game I took notes for was Her Story.
Oh, yeah.
I was like Jim Carrey in number 23, just mad scribblings all around.
Yeah, no, we did that too. Yeah.
But what I love about Emily is Away too is I felt like it did a great job of adding more elements that weren't shitty gamifying things. It was just more like, oh, this is actually like with the YouTube and with the web browser and being able to use the desktop.
It was fleshing out that experience without just piling on things to it.
Yeah.
And again,
God, it was so good.
Arguably, I haven't played near enough of this to have that opinion, but that was first glance, it's a mobile game. You know how they are. They're a dime a dozen. I can move on to something else and switch or this, that, the other. That was my impression of it, where I didn't get locked. I didn't get hooked the way I was the first time around.
Yeah. The two things I've been playing, I got Pokken Tournament on the
DX.
Switch. DX.
Degeneration.
And I played it on a little bit on the flight back from LA. And it's just, me and Kevin did a Let's Play when it was on Wii U, and we played a little bit more than that. And like, it's one of those games where I would have loved that if that's what Pokemon Stadium was on the N64.
Yeah.
Now I don't really need that type of game, and I'm not really a fighting game pro by any stretch of the imagination. So it's like,
I heard you were MLG.
I don't. The systems are a little too deep for me to wrap my head around just from casual playing.
Cool Tim and
So-
Justin Wong hanging out
Exactly.
on the
Daigo,
local
like,
circuits.
what's up, guys?
Yeah.
But it's definitely a good game. There's a lot going on. The character selection's great, and I enjoy the Pokemon cartoon elements to it, where it's like, oh man, this feels like the battles felt in the cartoon. But I feel it's like a weird release to put out so close to ARMS, because they're very different games, but they're both 3D behind the shoulder fighting games.
Yeah.
And I feel like ARMS is a lot easier to wrap your head around than Pokken Tournament, and I enjoy ARMS more. So I'm like, I don't think I'm really gonna play too much of it. So that's kind of my thoughts on that. The other thing I got to play a lot of was the SNES Classic. So I got that. It's freaking adorable. Obviously, I love it. Super Nintendo, my favorite console of all time, my first console of all time. And so many of those games are just so damn good. So there's 21 games, I think, one of them being Star Fox 2. And yeah, called that one like I saw it. That game's trash.
That's what I figured.
It's so bad, and it's like Star Fox, one of my favorite franchises, because I remember playing the Super Nintendo one back in the day, and even my first time playing it, I was like, this is rough, but it opened up my imagination so much, where I was like, this is so cool.
A talking
like,
frog.
The way that they were all talking to you, it felt like
That's what it was.
Anything's possible in video games.
And it was funny though, because it reminded me of Star Wars, and it's because it was aping Star Wars, but such simple, like it's just a flight, like you're on rails going through shooting stuff, but
Just fucking
something
aiming.
about it being like a 3D like game, and the way that the graphics looked unlike anything I've ever seen, even though they were trash. But just having all the different characters come up, it made it feel like it was part of something so much bigger, and like trying to understand like the relationships, and like it got pretty deep. Just the lore given to you on the menus and stuff about James's dad or Fox's dad dying, and Peppy being a former teammate of his father, and all that stuff. It's like, fuck, man, this is so cool.
Man, I didn't know that. Wow.
It's great. And then when they made Star Fox 64, it was just like, oh well, fuck Star Fox and Super Nintendo. Like that game is like it's just done. It's like unplayable now. Star Fox 64 is so good, and it was a remake of that game, and I just keep remaking it and making it worse now. But Star Fox 64 was so good that I'm like, I can't imagine going back. And Star Fox 2 never came out because as they were making it, the PlayStation had already come out, and it would, like the novelty of, oh, it's a 3D game, it would have just been crushed. And also just the quality level just wasn't there. And a lot of the elements that did work from it, they ended up using for Star Fox Command on the Nintendo DS in like 2006, I think it was.
The Walker dude.
No, that was Star Fox Assault on GameCube.
Idiot.
The Star Fox Command was it was like not real-time strategy, but it was a strategy thing where it's like you draw the lines of like where the ships go. And Star Fox 2 has those elements mixed with the more classic on rails, or even I think this was the game that introduced the forgot the name of it, but where you were just in the arena and you like, you know, the boss fights in all range mode is what they call it. When you're the boss fights of Star Fox 64 and you're not on rails anymore. Now you're just kind of in an arena going back and forth. Right. It has a lot of that. But yeah, no, I like played maybe an hour of it. I'm like, I would never beat this game. It's so hard to control. I love the characters though. Everything that I liked about the original Star Fox was still there, but like, this is definitely a gimmicky novelty thing of like, oh man, this probably is setting a record for finished game that took the longest to come out ever. But yeah, it should have stayed that way in my opinion. But when I first came home with the Super Nintendo, I was like, I'm gonna hook it up. I'm gonna play around for a bit. I want to try Star Fox, and then I looked at Super Mario World. I'm like, I'm just gonna pop it in. I'm just gonna beat the first castle. A couple hours later, beat that damn game. It's so good. It's so freaking good.
Lawrence and I were talking about maybe playing Secret of Mana together. That's one of my favorite games of all time. I mean, I still have it.
The original.
I have this. Yeah, we have a Super NES and a cartridge for it, but I don't use cartridges anymore. Except
I
Switch.
I want my HDMI output.
Yeah.
I mean, it's such an amazing collection of games. I love all the features that they added with the save states and the rewinds and the borders and all that stuff. Like it's
what is the rewind exactly? It's that you rewind to watch what you've done, or is it okay? You rewind is to start back from
is that
where you
even
were.
A feature in the Super Nintendo, or am I making that up?
It is.
Well, somebody
rewind
it is, yeah.
Okay, because I know you can do it in.
Because I was like, oh, if you goof, you could just go back.
Is that what it is?
The
Because
Disney
I thought
collection.
because Andre Seegers, I thought, put out a tweet talking about the rewind in relation to Mario Kart, that you could go back and try to do like it was helpful to if you missed a corner to corner. That's what
That's what I think it is. I think it's just like a rewind function that takes you back in the game.
Okay,
Just a little bit.
Like Tracer.
Yeah, exactly.
The hit movie Tracer.
No, Overwatch. But yeah, so obviously it's a great collection of games, but the problem with it is it's like I don't have any need to replay them, and especially when it's in this type of collection, it's like, why isn't this on Switch? Like these are the type of games that I'm like, if they were on Switch, I'd
knew you'd buy this.
I know, and it's great as a collector's item, but an argument I've been making forever with back when there was so much hullabaloo about the NES Classic and SNES Classic and the production supply issues and all that. It's like, who's actually in the market to buy this to play these games? Like, I just don't think that many people are. It's a novelty thing that maybe they'll play through a little bit, but at the end of the day, it's like
It's collectible.
it's just a collectible thing, and
It's just a piece of nostalgia to put on your shelf.
Yeah, and it's great.
The
but
whole,
it's
like you say when we unboxed it right on the morning show of like, when's the last time you held a brand new SNES controller?
that stuff's awesome, and I had a great experience with it. And like, I recommend getting this thing because it's like it is a great collection of games, but it becomes really easy to look at the glaring omissions. Like, where's Donkey Kong Country 2? Like, why wouldn't that be there? And other things like that. But then also just like still the cord is stupidly short. Like it's way longer than the last one was, but like I still had an issue with my TV where I had to unplug HDMI cords and like string it along my floor just to get to my couch. I'm like, this is stupid.
They want you sitting
Yes.
cross-legged in front of it, man.
Right.
Going back.
Experience.
You're right. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Oh man, I
Let him
had
play
a
Miho.
really great point. I mean, it wasn't.
Think
but-
on it. I'll say that I can imagine if you're a parent and you have kids now and they're in elementary school. This would be a fun way to show them
100%, yeah.
what you were into. When you
Well,
were a
I
kid.
know that when the pre-orders are coming out, Miles from RT was like, damn, I couldn't grab a fucking pre-order. And the main reason is because like I want to be able to show it to like my future kids and be like, hey, this is. And I was like, damn.
You probably don't need to buy it on day one then, Miles.
So I told
Like, you can
him
get it
that
later.
like, hey, you know what? I pre-ordered 3. I'll give you one of mine.
You know what? Hey, I'm an asshole.
No, so here I pre-ordered 3, one to give to my nieces and nephew. Don't know if I want to do that though. But another one for me, and another one because I'm gonna trade to one of the kind of funny best
The
friends, Matt
orphans, oh.
Clements. I've known him
Matt
since
Clements.
we were back in the community, like at our first PSX, the one where y'all did here in SF.
Yeah.
He was like, "Are you going to PSX this year?" And I was like, "I don't know." And he was like, "Well, we could try to figure out to trade it there because he bought a UK version."
Ooh.
And I was like, "If you buy the UK version, I will trade you my standard American one." And he was like, "Yeah, we could totally do that." Like, I want that. I just
want the wrong
I love the
colors.
color. No, the
I got
colors
it.
are so much cooler, man. The rainbow colors are so much
It's all
cooler.
about the concave.
We're doing that
though.
San Diego Christmas thing. We can probably, if he comes to that, we could get it. And I'll probably be at PSX for sure. I don't know what your deal is. We'll figure it out.
Figure it out.
And I'll smash it.
Now it's time for This Week in Gaming History.
Hold on. Here's what I also
You
played.
got more.
I have one more.
Whoever wears the shirt runs the show.
The newer version of the shirt.
Yeah, wow,
I have the
it's so
newest.
much nicer than
yeah.
mine.
I know we are varying levels of this shirt.
The last thing I want to mention that I played, Ruiner. I've been playing on
Oh.
PlayStation 4. It is such a cool, stylish twin stick shooter. I want it to control like Hyper Light Drifter because I fucking
you
love
love that
Hyper Light
game.
Drifter, but it is a twin stick shooter, so you are using your right stick to sort of spin around, and sometimes it feels kind of loose and weird. But it is beautiful. The art is awesome. Every time, and there's like really cool story. So essentially, you're a dude who just has like a mask on that just has wording. You don't know what your face looks like, but you are looking for your brother who's like been kidnapped. And there's this girl in the game who sort of guides you through. She's like a crazy cool hacker chick, and she looks awesome. She has like super like good looking
Purple
girl
streak
with
in
like
her hair.
awesome. No, she has a like big. She kind of looks like
Tracer. Always go back
She
to
kind of looks
Tracer.
like a God. Is it Noodle from?
Sheldon.
Is it Noodle from Gorillas?
Oh,
Oh,
She's got
yeah,
the big,
yeah,
got the big headphones. Yeah, she's really cool looking. All the art is really cool. So whenever you come across an enemy, it's sort of like top-down isometric game. When you come across an enemy, like their 2D art flashes on the screen, and it's just
Cool.
them like in a cool.
I love that.
And the art is beautiful. It's all like everything's very red. The font that they use is so fucking stylish. And they come up on the screen, they're like, "Yo, what the fuck are you doing here? This is our territory," or whatever. And you eventually have to shoot them down or whatever. But there's a really cool skill tree where you can, improve your dash abilities or like throw out a shield and shoot from behind it. It's super stylish and fun, and it's gorgeous. And I highly recommend playing it. It's fucking
okay.
awesome.
Ruiner.
It is awesome. It's just straight up cyberpunk fucking greatness.
Sounds rad. Yeah.
Now it's time for This Week in Gaming History. 2 years ago, on September 27th, 2015, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5 came out on PlayStation 4 and was one of the most disappointing moments in my game.
Oh, I remember that.
It was sad. Like every once in a while when I want to feel bad about myself, I watch my review of that game and I just see my heart break, and it breaks my heart to watch
That was
my
2
heart
years
break.
ago.
2 years ago, man. 2 years ago.
Gone and forgotten.
I forgot about that because the last Tony Hawk game in my consciousness was like Tony Hawk Ride.
No, I was
full
going
of
to mention that, but
technology.
I was hoping you weren't going to mention that.
Yeah.
Full of
And that was
technology. That,
sad as well.
That was sad. But Tony Hawk's Pro Skater
Boy.
5 was even more sad because it was a return to roots and they were going back to the number, and that meant something. Fortunately, it meant very bad things. God, that's so fucking upsetting to me. 2 years ago, also, Greg, this one's for you.
Thank you.
September 29th, 2015. Lego Dimensions came out on PlayStation 4, Xbox One.
it's for me and
Wii U.
Joey.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just
Rest in
kicking.
peace.
rest in
Nah,
RIP,
not
man.
really kicking anymore. Yeah.
Well, there's still shit coming out.
Not from here on out.
Maybe
Not
it's
the way
not.
it
That's the
was.
thing. Yeah, I mean, they got out those Teen Titans and the Powerpuff Girls, and that was the end of any announcements they had. And they had announced those more than a year ago, so it was like,
Here we are.
So that looks like it's over with.
You know?
Yeah.
15 years ago, on September 24th,
I'm screen cheating.
2002.
I'm like looking at it.
Screen cheating. Now, I only put this one on a list because of its name. Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island, Super Mario Advance 3 on the Game Boy Advance. That's
Rolls
way
right off the tongue.
too many numbers and names. I loved it because Yoshi's Island, one of my favorite games of all time. Playing on Game Boy Advance was great. They added the freaking sound effects from Yoshi doing his whole sound. Like that shit and the thing.
As he kicks his legs.
And it was just like, it just ruined it.
It was like
so
that.
much. But it did have a bunch of, I think, so it was the Mario 3 on Game Boy Advance added the card, the e-reader thing.
I remember that.
And it opened up new levels. This one also had like 8 new levels for Yoshi's Island. They were really hard. I enjoyed that a lot. 16 years ago, on September 24th, 2001, Eco came out.
Oh.
So I holding on to that the other day.
I don't know.
That was a
long
CD
day.
game, which was weird. It was one of the blue disc ones.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
It was one of the PS2
PlayStation
games
2s.
with the blue bottom because it was a
Oh.
CD, not a DVD. 18 years ago, on September 30th, 1999, Grand Theft Auto 2 came out on PC. Did you play
PC.
that?
No memories of that game.
No memories of it. 3 was my first one. PC was its first
seemed
release.
Three
like
was
it
my
a lot
first
of
Was it really?
people.
Wow, I don't
it
remember
came
that
out
on
on a month
PlayStation
later
1.
on the other stuff. But
Yeah.
did you played
Oh yeah.
the
Oh
2D
yeah.
GTA games?
Oh yeah, big time.
yeah.
Yeah, big time. No, that was the thing where we would we'd backyard wrestle, and then we would all pile back in and watch it, and then we would turn on the PlayStation 1 and pass the controller and just fuck around.
Have you ever talked to James about backyard wrestling?
No.
He built a ring. You guys should backyard
Oh, yeah.
wrestle.
I don't know about that anymore, but yeah, we should look at each other's tapes for
can
sure.
you imagine?
You guys should move back into your parents' houses, build a ring in their yard.
Well,
and wrestle each
fucking
other.
when was it where a guy like fucking suplexed James and he almost died? What it was like PAX West.
Oh,
It was
during
really
the
violent.
panel?
It was during the
I remember
panel.
that. I totally forgot about
It was
that.
super violent. This
People
guy was
walking
like,
out.
"Can I do a move on you?" James was like, "Yeah, come up here." And the guy did the move, and it was like a really violent, like fucking crazy ass flip. And I was like, "Oh my god!" Like
Yeah.
James could have gotten really
James took
hurt
the
about
bumps.
that.
James
You know,
just
he's-
goes for it, man.
You
Like
gotta
at
take
the,
bumps,
at
man.
the Let's Play reunion, I thought James was gonna die when he dived
always-
in the pool onto
Yep.
the duck and
Oh
just
my
was like
God.
about to go
I
off the
always
infinity
think
pool.
so too. I saw Jen tweet at you like, "Don't hurt yourself."
Yeah.
That's like always my thing. I'm like, I never want to be like a nag or not fun, but
You're gonna kill
I'm
yourself.
just always worried. Yeah, it's like
What are
takes
fun
one,
police? We're here, funny.
takes just one broken
One death.
spine.
But no, yeah, for GTA 2, we'd pass the controller around, fuck around, and see who could outlast the cops longest, get to 5 stars the fastest, kill all the Elvises. This is like a thing that I'm surprised never made into the other ones, but there'd be like this conga line of Elvises going, hup, 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 and they'd be like jogging down the
So
street.
weird.
And yeah, there was all these weird things. And you'd use all the cheat codes to spawn the items and the bazookas and sit there and go run to the Jesus save sign to save and shit like that.
It's so crazy because to me, Grand Theft Auto 3 came out when I was 12, I
Yeah.
guess. And that was the first time where I became obsessed with a franchise where I like didn't even know anything about the other ones. And like
Sure.
looking at it, I was like, the other ones might as well have not existed.
Well,
but to hear everything you're just saying, like to now have played the other ones, like there's so much that translated into GTA 3
Oh, sure.
and into 3D in a way that, like, you look at Mario games, you look at Zelda, where it's like, oh man, that 2D to 3D transition totally worked. It's like, oh shit, GTA 3 is just GTA in 3D.
Yeah.
Like the star system and using codes to unlock the weapons and stuff. It's like,
And
wow.
stealing cars, obviously, and killing
Yeah.
people like that and all that shit. But it was that was such GTA 2 was something we played over and over and over and over again on PlayStation 1. They put out that. It wasn't a full number cycle, and I forget what they called it, but there was a
London.
GTA London. Yeah, right. Then that was the deal, like drive around and do that. We didn't ever get into that for some reason. But I'll never forget opening EGM that 1 month. And they had 2 screenshots or 3 screenshots from Grand Theft Auto 3. And it was like, yes, this is third person, this is open world, it's down. And me and my friends who had played hours and hours of GTA 2 were like, how can this possibly be? How, they're like, we've played and you can't drive around this open world. There's things you can't do this like this. There's no, it's gonna be small. It's gonna be this. We won't be able to go into things. And it was like, you get that game, you're like, holy fucking shit.
Holy shit. And now the most important thing to ever happen in video games.
Crash Bandicoot.
19 years ago, on September 30th, 1998, Pokemon Red and Blue came out on Game Boy, changing my life forever.
I think you mentioned Pokemon Red and Blue this 3rd time today.
That's what I do. You trust me.
you've hit the quota.
The comments will let me know about that. But no, I love those games, and they're so important to me in terms of just opening up my imagination and just the type of game genre that I'm even willing to try. Like, if it weren't for that, I would never play RPGs at all. But like, that taught me that I liked those.
It's a gateway.
It's a gateway drug for sure. Like, Colin always used to call it baby's first RPG, and like that's true. And there is definitely the deep levels of competitive play that I never got into. But the world of Pokemon Red and Blue, and then the follow-up Gold and Silver, and when it went back, it was just like, there's so much here.
It's so interesting that I totally missed it. You know what I mean?
sad.
And I don't know if it's because I thought it was the card game in the TV show and it was a kids thing, or if that, you know, that must have been what was the turnoff, I assumed, to me then. Because like and maybe I wasn't as open minded then when I was, you know, playing fewer games, or not fewer, but fewer genres, I guess. Just because I had Game Boys, I had the ability to play this game, and I don't know what about it never made it sound intriguing. Even though obviously, if I'm reading EGM and going to the websites, like people are talking about this, people are into it.
I mean, for us at schools, every student was collecting cards and doing. Like,
and I guess that was
in
the
your
thing.
school at all?
Well, no, because and not in my grade. I think that's the thing is I think I was a little too old to be on the card collecting side, so that you missed that part.
I was the same way, where Pokemon wasn't really. I aged out, and it just wasn't a thing.
It was something I remember. Mike, I was talking about Michael Bryan playing in his basement and stuff like that. His little brother was into it, so that must have been the thing of like, oh, there's the cutoff. That's what that is.
Yeah, it's weird. I
And
mean,
we played
like,
Pokemon Snap. We're like, yeah, all right.
there was a TV show and the cards and all that stuff, but just the games, and like, I mean, it's obviously true because Pokemon is just the same damn thing over and over and over to its detriment. And they've changed it up a little bit now, but the core progression of the gym leaders and the Elite Four and how the dungeons are set up, there's just something so rewarding about it, where it's like it just creates so much character within each of the major fights you go up to, where it's like, and when you add the cartoon on top of that, there's something about it. I'm like, man, this is just a very special game for me.
It's a cool time to be alive.
It's a cool time to be alive.
Living
man.
our best lives.
True. Living our best life. And then this one's for you, Andy. 20 years ago, on September 29th, 1997, Croc Legend of the Gobos came out on PlayStation 1.
Huge fan.
Huge fan of Croc?
Huge fan of Croc.
It's time to come back?
No, I mean, you know, he's no cool spot.
He's no cool spot. And then, jokes aside, 21 years ago, on September 26th, 1996, Super Mario 64 came out on N64.
Wow. And now Odyssey.
And now Odyssey, man.
It's time, baby.
Now the fun. I mean, we talked about Mario 64 forever, so you understand. But what's interesting for me here, 21 years ago, September 29th, so 3 days later, then 64 came out. So Mario 64 came out before the system. And that's happened before. We've seen it a couple times, but that's really fucking weird.
Yeah.
I remember the PSP games came out before the PSP did.
Sure.
That was really weird.
That's right.
I can't fucking wait for Odyssey. And
Oh
it's
my
gonna be
God.
like you could just take it wherever you want, Elyse.
We've been playing it right now.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, my dream Switch game though is Captain Toad Treasure Tracker 2.
It's coming. You
think so?
You know it has to be.
I don't know. I don't know that the other one performed that well
Oh, it
on
definitely
Wii
did.
U.
Oh, it did. Yeah.
It
Relative to
critically,
Wii U sales.
yeah, it did critically well, and
That's-
people have a soft spots for it.
I hope I would get a truck going by, but you know,
really
it's like
distracting.
everyone's still trying to muffle Captain Toad Treasure Tracker 2, but
It's that one for me.
Mario
but
Golf?
I really want Super Mario world, 3D world, to come out as well. Because I think
It
that's
needs another chance, man.
Because that's just like the perfect co-op game to play, and it's just you can just play with a little Joy-Con, man.
Yeah.
It's just perfect
I
for
feel
that
it, man.
for that little. I don't know. It could just live perfectly on that.
I want Mario Golf. I still want my Animal Crossing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean these are the ones at the top of the list.
Mario
Smash
Tennis.
Brothers, of course, sure. Yeah, I
Mario
go for
Tennis,
Mario
I don't
Tennis.
know, man.
Come on.
Mario Tennis on
know.
Game Boy Color was the
Yes.
shit.
Well, that's because it was like this. But every Mario Tennis, like,
Fucking
I
bite
didn't
your
really
tongue,
like them.
dude.
Yeah, I know, right? And the
Did
funny
you
thing
play
is,
the Wii U one?
he hates Mario
Huh?
Odyssey.
Did you play the Wii U one?
No.
It was so bad, man.
It wasn't that,
Ryan.
Andy. It wasn't that bad.
Mario
It wasn't
Power
that-
Tennis?
Yeah, it wasn't that bad.
Yeah,
He's
it was, man.
He's grumpy because he lost the
No,
championship.
there was a point with the that
I
was the
see.
first ever Nintendo or Kind of Funny World Championship. There was a point with the Wii U where they just gave up. And I know a lot of people would joke and say, "Oh, from the beginning," but it's like, no, Wii U's library was amazing, and it hit a point where it stopped being amazing, and it was just bad Nintendo games, which usually doesn't
Treasure
happen.
Tracker.
Post Treasure
It
Tracker.
just
No,
fell
so it
apart.
like went down.
They said no more.
Star Fox
We've
Zero.
hit the peak.
Ugh. All right, now it's time
Can't
for
get
some
better.
little Elyse Q&A here. You can go to
Oh,
kindoffunny.com/Gamescast.
Little Elyse Q&A.
No,
Just like everyone else.
I hate this. Yeah.
So we got some questions from you, Elyse.
Maybe ask the questions that everybody can answer. Too.
Well, everyone can answer them too,
Okay.
but like,
Sure, we
these are,
can.
most of them are for you. More Science says, Elyse,
here
do
we
you
go.
believe Armored Core would be a bigger success with a season pass plan for DLC missions?
I told you before I talk core, I need to look up the core lore so I'm informed of. I don't make a pour coal on the core.
She's melting.
I
She's
need to
melting.
know,
Yeah,
I need to
we're
know
there.
what for.
Have you played an Armored Core game
No,
ever?
of course I
Yeah.
haven't. Are you kidding me? I play Captain Treasure Tracker. Puzzle games. I'm excited because of the touching.
I have played Armored Core though.
Cool.
What a plot
I
twist.
reviewed
Right.
one, remember? That I forgot. Trevor Stark had to dig it out for me.
So
Cool
funny.
Well,
Andy
is the
now.
new fucking Armored Core game going to be that Left Behind or Last Alive game?
I know what you're talking about. Is that the last
That's the
Alive?
Yoji
Is it-
Shinkawa game?
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying they're like,
Is-
oh, is this like an Armored Core-ish game?
We'll
Is
find
there
out.
actually a new Armored Core game coming, or are you guys just bullshit?
No,
that
this
we're
last,
done?
the last, or whatever the fuck it is.
It's called
They got
it's called
TGS.
Last or Left Alive, and it's basically it looks like Metal Gear Solid. it is seriously it is seriously like
Okay.
Snakey or like Metal Gear Solid 5, where you're like behind the fucking
Okay.
behind the view, and he's shooting big robots, and there's
Probably
big
fun.
robots, and
Right?
I mean it looks.
Your voice got high there a little bit.
It's gonna be a niche hit.
Commander QB says, if you could have your dream Muppets game, what genre would it be, and what features would you want to see?
Are you obsessed with the Muppets? Because I know there was a Muppet GOG
Yeah.
topic today
I
with
do
you.
love the Muppets.
Okay, just making sure.
It's a big
What like a
facet of my life.
Telltale Muppet game?
So that'd be great. Man, a Muppet noir, Muppet mystery would be great. Or if you were the Muppets, you were working together to like restore your theater, or a game that was sort of like episodic, like a Muppet Piece Theater, which was like their Muppet Classic Theater, and you know each episode had a different.
We're creating a game
Sort of
right now.
like how there was Pirates of, or like a Muppet Treasure Island. You know, each game
Oh,
had,
sure.
had its own different theme and play style. I don't know. That's a big question. That would take.
It's a loaded
Who
question.
owns the Muppets?
Disney.
Disney does. Okay.
Yeah. You got connections, Greg? We get those Muppets.
Oh, well, I just don't know anything about them. Yeah, I feel like we haven't done anything with the Muppets in a while. No, they had a movie recently-ish.
Yeah, and then there was a TV show.
2011?
They had another TV show, right? Muppets, I feel like, are one of those things that's gonna die.
They'll never die.
It'll just go
Kermit,
away.
Defrog.
It's gonna get
Oh my god.
put out. You know what I mean? Because it's all the old people who
She
care
just
about
got
it.
nauseous.
punched it like about like
Because I feel like
Air
you
knocked out of me.
look at Rolf, you look at Kermit, and you're like, these are some old ass puppets that I don't care
Rolf
about.
was Jim Henson's favorite. He
That's
didn't
fine.
talk for years after he died. They didn't have Ralph voice.
You know who made me laugh a
Anything.
lot? The bear.
Fozzie?
Fozzie?
No. The cop bear.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, he was in the
I don't
movie.
know his name. Oh,
Yeah.
he's a security guard.
It's so
I forget
funny.
that first name is.
I laughed like out loud several times with a girl I was dating at the time.
Who
She's like,
owns
"Why are you
Sesame
laughing?"
Street? PBS?
Sesame Street is probably owned by Jim Henson Company.
But
I
that's
wanna
not
say,
the
or
same thing
PBS.
as the Muppets, right?
No.
They're different, but they were at one point together.
Yeah, they're owned separate.
It's like the Beatles and the Monkeys.
No, it's not like the Beatles.
It's exactly like that.
It's more like Saliva and POD.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what it's like.
Selena in there. By the way, I put a bitty bitty bum bum on Kevin's wedding playlist.
Oh,
So,
great.
Like Selena's?
yeah. Melissa with the Y says, "What games on the Switch have you been playing? I know everyone was playing Zelda, but I haven't heard much Switch talk from Funhaus since."
I mean, I guess I haven't been playing anything since. Like Zelda would be the last thing that I was playing on the Switch.
Was there a Mario
And
Kart,
Mario Kart.
sort of fun zeitgeist with Funhaus? Because there was one here, certainly.
Not as much.
Just remember that.
There was
say-
one here.
Remember
somewhere.
that, Andy.
Yeah. Think about that. Wait, you know.
We have fun here.
I think probably like James and Lawrence are. I mean, Mario Odyssey. I'll get. Now I'm kind of into
Thimbleweed Park.
not the Millie
Golf
Park,
Story.
Golf Story.
Yeah, you are.
I might get
Yeah.
that.
You should get it for your flight back.
I should. I have shit I have to like read and
Ugh.
do though.
I need that one.
Reading. No
but,
way.
But
Cool,
You
Greg.
can't- You can't
Yeah.
interact.
Is
with
reading cool? Oh, he says he fucks with reading.
Uh,
You got
I
you
guess.
got cool new shoes.
Yeah, Sasha Banks got it.
Come on, show him. Put him up here.
What does that mean?
What does that mean?
Champs had a commercial with Sasha Banks, and she was showing off these shoes, so I went and bought them.
All right.
Cool, man.
I love Cool Greg so much.
cool, Greg.
Beaten Down Brian says, "Have you played Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door?"
I love that game. It's one of my faves.
There you go. Yeah, it's
Paper
guys-
Mario's are good.
You
Which
guys like
which
it?
one was it?
Paper Mario?
Game-
It's on the
GameCube.
GameCube.
See,
Number
my
two.
Paper Mario starts with Wii. Where
Super Paper
It
Mario.
starts with
Yeah.
Wii.
Whatever.
Wii
It was
thing.
for your first one. It was good.
That's the problem is Super Paper Mario was good, but it wasn't a Paper Mario game.
Paper Mario Thousand Year Door is
fucking
'cause I
fantastic.
played Super Mario. I used to play Super Paper Mario on the Wii. Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was.
it was half platformer,
Fine.
half right. It was like Paper Mario needs to be an RPG. Let's just be real.
It does.
My apologies, everybody.
The Elyse
Sorry.
has a couple questions. One of them is,
Oh no.
what was your first impression of Greg Miller?
Greg's pretty intimidating.
Really?
Yeah.
When,
But I'm also like afraid of everyone.
Oh,
and,
okay,
and,
okay,
and live in total fear that everyone hates me.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Um,
That's just normal for everybody, I think.
yeah. So
Especially in our
Which
business.
it's funny though for you though because I was on the Rooster Teeth Reddit recently and there was this really big thread that someone was like, "Is Elyse the most well liked universal person in
I don't
Rooster Teeth?" And I
think
think
so.
that that's true.
I think it's a vocal minority. I mean, trust me, I see the comments where I am not well liked, so I know that is not.
There's another
wholly
side.
True. I think people are very nice. I would say like Greg, and also like you don't realize how quickly into meeting Greg he's gonna have his shirt off
Yeah,
too.
that's true. That's a big part of it. That is a big part
So
of it.
like
Well, that's the icebreaker.
yeah.
I'm just a normal person like
And, like
you.
hits you in
I'm
the
just
face.
a normal
Yeah,
person.
yeah.
Yeah.
I take my shirt off.
Like,
I take it off.
every
I
5
have my
minutes,
co-
just, like,
people-
My
everybody's like,
coworkers lick my
One
moles.
sleeve at a time, you know? It's like the rest of us.
Yeah.
The Elyse once again asks a very important question. What is one Disney Channel original movie that you would like to see turned into a full-length video game?
What is that? What do they? Okay, so for me, my only experience with any Disney movies was like I didn't have Disney Channel growing up, but on Sundays they would do like
The ABC.
they would do like the Disney Family movie. So they'd show like bed knobs and broomsticks and shit.
Okay.
So what do they
Those are-
mean?
They're talking about the original movie series.
I don't know,
That if
like-
you're not familiar, you wouldn't be familiar.
these-
But
Johnny-
Johnny
Johnny
Tsunami,
Tsunami.
Brink, Xenon.
What's
I
the
don't
one
know.
with?
The answer's Brink, everybody. The answer is either
How when did
fucking
these
Brink
air?
or it's Xenon,
When or
an
how?
RPG.
Like when did they air? When did
Nighttime,
Like,
Saturday nights usually.
like-
Once a month.
like
I feel like it was Sunday night.
like when we were children.
yeah.
So
Oh,
once a
teens.
month from 1998 until about
Okay.
Man, I had a
2015,
huge
whenever
crush
it
on
was
Xenon,
done.
man.
what was
I'll
the
tell you
Katherine Heigl one where she and her sister
Oh,
switched bodies?
Bewitched. No, switched at birth. No, Star Spangled
Joke.
Switch.
No.
Witched, right?
No, it was a star. Once Upon a Star.
Once Upon a
That's-
Star.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
like, who is this woman?
Yep. Well, she, woman. She was our
But,
age.
yeah, no, but she was like older than us. But she
Sure,
was,
but I mean, she was
also
still.
tall.
This is like one of her first things, though. I remember, and it was like, oh, she's in a bikini in a hot tub, like watching this on Disney Channel.
Who? And then it was like, and then it ended up being Katherine Heigl. I was like, oh,
Well, the most
God.
important thing is the first ever Disney Channel original movie, Susie Q, starring Amy Jo Johnson, aka the Pink Ranger, and that movie started with her getting ready for prom and putting her prom dress on. Hot.
So-
damn.
But the answer, Disney Channel movie that needs to be turned into a video game, Blood Diamond. Thank you.
That Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah.
Yeah, the classic Disney Channel family
Disney
film.
Channel original movie. And then the last, the Elyse question
Oh my
was,
gosh.
what was the game that made you think, oh, heck yes, I love video games and I can't wait to see more?
I mean, my favorite video game, which is Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. Like that's a formative game for me for so many reasons, including being like the closest to my heart. You know,
Did you ever play A Link Between Worlds?
I did. I really liked it.
I
if
love
they
that
made
game.
another game
Yeah.
in that vein,
And they
I'd be
will.
all about it. All
Love that
about
game.
it.
Good
Because
lord.
it picked up a lot of those Paper Mario 1000-Year Door little
Scratch those itches?
tape,
Get on the
tapes
wall.
moves. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just roll.
The port. just like Link would always do.
Yeah, just
Do you guys have a game that was very formative for you?
Sure.
I think Greg and I have the same answer.
NBA 2K18. Say it
Yeah.
at the same time.
long shot.
I know this one.
Metal Gear Solid
Metal
1.
Gear Solid 1.
The first one.
Yeah, that was a big one for me. Why is it big? My story's tired for our audience. I haven't heard yours.
I guess it just, I mean, kind of for the same reason. That showed me that, like, this is what games can be in the future.
Yeah.
And we're seeing the first glimpses of it right now where, like, it's super cinematic and there's, like, credits like in the intro, which is like so weird to me. But I remember like playing the demo when you are first on Shadow Moses and you're underwater and then you get up and I think the demo ended when he's like, see, Hindy, what's a Russian gunship doing here?
Yeah.
Sort of thing. And I was like, holy shit, like, but there's still credits and like it was super cinematic and that's what kind of changed it all. I mean, it's either that or this is also like super like fence sitting right here because I could just go either way. But Ocarina of Time, because I always loved the Zelda games, but like Ocarina of Time was like, man, you can fucking go anywhere, and this is huge.
Look at this giant open field I'm in. It's so real.
Yeah, I created like my own like Zelda ripoff games that I never made, but like I drew all the characters for, and it was
nice.
like, it was like The Legend of Elia, and it was like, and you know, I had like my own version of the fucking Koroks and my own version of the Zora, and
that's awesome.
Yeah, I like made a fucking rip off of the Hyrule map and shit. Yeah, that game was awesome.
I've told this story a bazillion times, but Yoshi's Island, playing through it, first game I ever beat. But there was the moment where I beat World 1 and I beat the boss in the castle, and I thought I beat the game, and I was so happy. And then I realized there was 5 more worlds to play, and I was like, that was my moment where I'm like, I love video games. This is my life. So good. Feed the baby. Feed the goddamn baby. Eddie Phoenix wants to know, what are your favorite moments with the game trailers crew?
Oh my gosh.
Because I don't think a lot of people know that you used to be with what is now the Easy Allies crew before Funhaus.
Yeah.
Let me interject really quickly. Earlier when we were recording GOG, I was informed that
Breaking news.
Scrooge from the fucking Muppet Christmas Carol was Michael Caine.
I
didn't
how you
know
said
that.
his name,
Oh,
like he
yeah,
would say
okay.
his
Yeah,
name.
he blew his mind.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that blew my mind. And I had the same reaction when I found out that Elyse was the girl in the fucking game trailers, or in the game trailers like freak out video where they're freaking out to Shenmue being announced.
Oh, really?
I didn't know that.
Interesting.
And it's so weird. Like, but I watched that video and I showed like a bunch of my friends that video. Like, check out how like crazy they go. And like,
Yeah, because we've been doing like 14-hour like coverage or whatever
Yeah,
those days.
the all-day live
so,
stream reaction streams. Yeah.
Yeah, because I used to work on the E3 All Access, like Keeley coverage, but in that year we were like, we're doing it from our office. That was fun.
So
I mean,
So what are your favorite memories?
I guess, mandatory update that Ian and I did together is like hands down my favorite memory, because we all like just got up to so much fun together. We did fake 3DS commercials where we poured chocolate sauce on ourselves like blood. We had to shoot we lost our stage and had to shoot episodes in Kyle Bosman's car where we just stuck GoPros under the headrests and made him drive us around the neighborhood. And it was always like having fun with limited to no resources, at least toward the end. Like anytime Ian and I did like show floor coverage where we just dicked around with like stick mics, doing the show floor. Like there's anytime like we did these Not Funny GT sketches that were always super fun, and like Kyle worked on those with us. Trying to think of some like older stuff too. Being in an elevator with Shigeru Miyamoto and then not saying anything because I was like way too embarrassed to say anything.
Oh, didn't you and Adam talk about that like a couple years ago?
I think we did. It just always felt like it was, even when it was like, well, we have no money to do stuff. No, like it was just fun to still try to make things.
Now you're making that Rooster Teeth money.
You got that sweet
Loaded.
nasty Rooster Teeth money.
No, I meant like resources.
Yeah.
Trying to think of like.
See, we've interacted with
stuff.
Brandon Jones a bazillion times. We're all BFFs, and he's been on our show multiple
Brandon
times
Jones,
now.
I know I say that you're like the nicest man in gaming. Brandon Jones is
appreciate
also
that.
like one of the nicest men in gaming.
He's awesome. I
Yeah.
fucking love him. But I'm sad because I never really get to work with the other guys. And specifically, Brad and Huber, every time I see them, I'm just like, you guys are awesome. And we have a great time at conventions and stuff. But I just want me and Huber to do a podcast together.
That's all people want.
And we need to make it happen. We need to figure it out.
Is like one of the most beautiful hearted people in the world. And you meet him and you're like, he seems like kind of this like NorCal guy. He walks in and he looks like he's like a skater.
What does
But then
that
he's
mean?
like,
He's a cool dude.
I mean, like, yeah, super cool guy.
Yeah,
We call him Cool
just like Cool
Huber.
Tim.
Yeah, like Cool Tim, Cool Huber.
I walked into that.
And like, but then he'd be like, dude, you watched Macross last night? Like he says some super nerdy shit and you're like, oh, he's not cool at all. like, he's like the sweetest person and like always endlessly positive and just like happy and excited. Brad, like when Brad started working with us, we were like, Brad is way too cool.
Brad is too fucking
He's
cool.
too cool.
Brad is like,
Like me?
Brad's kind of like Andy, I think, in certain ways.
Yeah.
Hang 10, man.
Brad, we were all just like, he's much cooler than we all are.
Hang 10's a LA thing.
Oh, my apologies.
Yeah,
I didn't
it's like
understand.
things we say.
I spent a lot of time at LA hanging out with
Sure.
Funhaus,
Yeah,
for
he's
sure.
like
Hang
Not-
10.
not too
honorary
much time.
Funhouse.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you know.
It's just because he looks like Rahul Kohli.
Yeah. but yeah, if you and Huber could team up in some way, that'd just be like this bastion of
I
positivity.
want it to be this, like, I want to make it a thing. Like, I don't know what that thing is yet, but I don't
You
want it to
guys
just
should go
be
to like a
podcast.
WrestleMania or something together and film yourselves having a good time.
That sounds awesome.
like, yeah.
Okay,
'Cause he's-
okay.
That's a
he
good- that's a
still
good
watches.
recommendation.
I'm sure he does.
It's a good reco.
I don't know if this was covered on the Game Over Greggy show. Sorry. What is your history, like your lineage? I don't know anything about you other than Funhaus. Like
With
I
game
didn't.
trailers.
I mean, your career.
Oh man, I mean, I started. I had been at a few other places in working in LA for like producers that weren't talent booking agency that weren't like in this field, and then a friend of like mine knew Jeremy Hoffman.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know Jerry.
Knew Jeremy Hoffman and was like, I know this girl that doesn't really have a background in production, but you should just like talk to her, Jeremy. And that Jeremy Hoffman is like is responsible for so much in my career.
Sure.
And is like one of the truly great people in this industry. And so like he gave me a chance as a PA on GTTV,
Gotcha.
which was Spike, their show, and I worked on that and learned a lot about producing. And then when that show ended, transitioned to the website and continued working there. When Game Trailers got sold to Defy and there was the big layoff, moved along there.
Okay.
And yeah, it was kind of like adapting and taking on new responsibilities as they came. Like, okay, we lost our graphics people doing making graphics for the website now.
Sure.
And thumbnail, like that. That was like such a fertile learning ground for like, especially it was terrible that the layoffs happened and then the transition, which inevitably led to Game Trailers closing. I think those guys are better off now. Like I'm glad that it wasn't just like, this is gonna go on forever now. And I think it's awesome. And
You get used
Sorry.
to it. You get used to it. You get used to it.
sorry. But it was such like a fertile learning ground.
Yeah.
Because we didn't really have anybody, because we weren't, getting a ton of money toward the end to do stuff, and we didn't really have anybody breathing down our necks, so to speak. So we could try new things and Yeah, it is fun. It's like when you think back to like the good old days, you don't realize you're in them at the time too. So there's a lot of that.
Yeah, that's deep.
You don't think it's
Did you
deep.
just coin that?
And then like when you and Huber go to WrestleMania, you won't realize that's the good old days.
Yeah, that's the good old days.
That's the peak.
Until
One
later.
day.
then
Cool
you're
Timmy,
like,
cool Huber.
Cool. Yeah, man. Hell yeah. Gamer T-Fin says, how's it to work with the Funhaus guys?
It smells. Yeah.
Lots of farts.
And then Russell Saddle also has, what are some of the things you like or dislike about working at Funhaus?
Well, working with the Funhaus guys is like, it's a 180 from Game Trailers. Because Game Trailers, it was a lot more like we're doing a lot more game coverage and working more in an editorial aspect. And for me, like I do love games in that respect, but I do love comedy. So at Funhaus, it's sort of, we are more of a comedy channel that uses gaming as our vehicle. And that for me is something that I never in a million years thought that I would get to have a job where I get to go to work and feel funny all day. And that's the main crux of what we're doing. And to be around people that just like because everybody's so funny and so good at what they do, you're just like building and you're constantly feeling motivated to keep bettering yourself. And that's great. I think of those guys, like James excluded, like brothers to me. And like
Sounds like a dream come true to
Adam
work
thinks
there.
of me like a sister.
Shut
He won't
up.
admit it, but he does. Bad things about Funhaus. I wish we had a better office. It's
Where you can hear ambulances outside.
yeah, we just knew we were on the pulse of the community. But no, right now, I think maybe we there's more we could be doing, and especially because we're kind of divided with half of our team being in a totally separate office. So I wish we had more of a unified space that we could, and who knows, like that might be a thing that comes with time.
I remember when I visited y'all on the way over here, I didn't know that y'all were divided like that.
Yeah.
And I kind of forgot, like, I've seen the room obviously on camera several times, and I didn't put it together that, there are a lot of editors that aren't ever in that room. And so, like, I just went to one of the rooms because I was, like, DMing you or Bruce or something. And then I'd knock on the door, and Don opened the door, and he's like, hello? And I was like, here to hang out with Elyse and Bruce and Adam. And they're like, who are you? And I was like, Andy. Just tell Matt Peak, because Matt, Peak knows me.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, well, they're in the other building. I was like, oh, right.
I've never been to the other
totally
building when I
makes
was there. I've
sense.
only been in your area.
Haunted.
It's haunted?
Firebats wants to know, who's your favorite celebrity to do impressions of, and have you ever considered doing stand-up comedy?
I don't know that I have what it takes to do stand-up. I've thought about it and I have Steve Martin's masterclass on like comedy and stand-up. I don't know that it's for me.
We were talking to Nick about it, though. And like, it was interesting to hear, Elyse and Jeff, like, listen to Nick's method of, like, doing
Yeah.
stand-up. And they're like, wow, it's
Nick's got-
cool to see
'cause
somebody else.
Nick has this like charisma, like he's rolling.
He can
with
talk
it.
to anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got it. Like,
You could be like Mitch Hedberg, like weird comedy sort of thing.
No, maybe like Anyway, it doesn't matter. But I don't know. I'm working on the Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah, let's hear that one again. That was really good.
Phoebes. Well, that was
That's
really
good. That's good.
That's my favorite. Yeah, it's really
I
good.
can only say Phoebes.
It's a very limited person.
Well, I mean, with all due respect, when you're like Jennifer Aniston, I was like, what is it,
that's
Jennifer
good. You're
Aniston?
like,
Oh,
yeah,
there it
she
is.
hit
There,
it,
and then
yeah.
you're like, oh, there it is. I
Yeah.
see. Now do Fat Monica.
Doesn't she go like this?
Yeah, she does make her face like that. Yeah.
No. She is like a.
This is from Gary Jones. This can
so
work.
stressful. I'm sorry.
What?
Do you guys want to? Have any of you considered doing stand up?
No,
No.
No.
God, no.
Okay.
Nick
Oh.
wants all of us to do it with him.
but
And he's
I just don't think-
like, cool, Greg, you're funny. Andy, you're funny.
and
Tim,
you could do it.
Greg,
but,
you're
like,
funny.
You're a specific. Like I feel like the two of you together could come up
Me
with
and
some real
Andy?
good shit.
Yeah, he acts like the ventriloquist dummy, and you're the ventriloquist.
Just like Jeff Dunham. I
Yeah.
love that guy. He's so
Oh
funny.
my God.
hate that guy.
Where was I? Gary Jones says, this can work for both us and you. What's it like making spots for GameStop TV?
Oh.
So the thing for that is like that's just a Rooster Teeth thing where they have the opportunity to.
I'll take this question.
Have us make whatever video we want that just plays it. GameStop TVs all over the world, and like, you can take the question first. He doesn't.
Okay,
Fucking
you
know.
okay
He doesn't
with me
fucking
going
know
first?
Yeah, you guys can go
Okay.
ahead. Yeah.
I enjoy writing them just because I like those little opportunities where I can try to make the guys laugh unexpectedly because they don't read. They don't read those scripts before I send them. They don't read them. But then when we get up there to shoot them, I'll put in some really cheesy or terrible joke, or have them say, give them an aside like, do this voice here or whatever, and they like I get a big kick out of them having to do that. So that's my favorite part of those. On another level, it's really cool to have, and I worked in an EB Games, so it's one of those
that's really
mind-blowing, like, your life full circle, like, you can't fathom it.
Yeah.
You are what you hate now. You're the person on camera.
I
annoying
became
you.
the villain,
On
lived
loop.
long enough to be the Two-Face. So, like that is mind-blowing when people are like, yeah, I saw you in GameStop, and I'm so glad that I got to, see you guys when I went in there. That's, I don't know, it's probably cool for you too.
Yeah, it's definitely super cool for us. We haven't done too many of them. I think it's been like 3 or 4 at this point. But to me, I love it because that's my favorite type of feature and video to do, and we just never do it here. But like having a scripted thing where I get to perform the script with a teleprompter and then have B-roll that matches it and editing it myself and kind of as I'm writing the script thinking about what the video looks like I super love that, and like the opinion pieces too, and like that's what I loved doing most at IGN. I didn't really get too much opportunities to, but what I like about you doing it is that's all you did at IGN.
Sure.
Well, you did a lot of other things too, but like that was your job at IGN, and to see you do it now for the GameStop videos, it's like, man, like you're born to do that shit.
Yeah, it's a cool call. I mean, to answer your question, I fucking hate it.
No.
And it's just, and I don't hate the content. I love the opportunity. I do love getting out there and doing it. But it's for the way we work. It's always that thing. It's what gets pushed. Every day on the because like the morning show, Games Daily, and usually a podcast have to happen. And so then it's always like, whoa, I need to do this call now, or I need to do this. What can move? And it's always that GameStop video. And it's true. It's moving the writing and then moving the filming. And so
then moving the editing.
It inevitably gets to, they need it by end of day Monday, which means I'm getting here at 9 in the morning and I'm doing the video and then I'm running back to my desk and I'm trying to edit and I'm trying to get the B. It's like, you put it on, like, where's the oration people want? It's on my computer, I need to edit it. Where's the cancer panel people want? It's on my computer, I need to edit it. Where's the commercial for the Team Fat Apron? It's on my computer, I need to edit it. It's just like, with 7 people, there's nowhere for any of the work to go. It's constantly gridlocked. And so like,
and it's not a regular thing. It's such an anomaly.
Exactly. It's always that thing of like, oh, it's coming up. I'm like, oh, I got an idea. I pitch you an idea immediately. And I'm like, here's what I want to do.
So it's a monthly thing where every month, I think it's a little bit different with you guys, but for us, every other month-ish, they rotate out what members of the Let's Play family do. I think you guys always do, but
no, I think we're like every other month now.
Okay,
too.
cool. Well,
we were monthly, but
yeah, it was monthly. Now it's not, and essentially, me and Greg have been kind of taking turns doing it. And they're like, "Oh, what topic do you want to talk about?" And originally, it was kind of just like, "Here's 5 games coming out this month," but now Greg just literally did one that's like, "Why I like Persona 5."
Yeah, I think that's great. We should need to tailor ours more like that too. I think.
And so like by the time it gets to the finished product and people watch it and like I start getting screenshots of it and like it's usually like I'll say 14. Oh my God, you're at GameStop. That's awesome. And then one fucker who's like, I fucking hate you. Stop coming on these channels. You scream too much. And I'm like, lol, fuck you. That part's great, but like the actual, oh fuck, how are we gonna make this fit?
Does really suck.
I can tell you though, every time I'm in a different city or traveling and I see a GameStop, I go in. But I've never seen.
I've never seen us on. Yeah,
I've only seen Rooster Teeth stuff. Like I've seen like slow mo guys.
I've seen Game Attack a couple times, which I'm like, how is there multiple times in different cities and shit? So it's like it's all just a roll of the dice. Final question, Elyse. What's up with Waluigi's Sneak in Love?
Well, I don't know. I doubt you guys know about this. Waluigi's Sneak in Love was a game masterminded by myself, Kyle Bosman, and Ian Hink back at Game Trailers, and it was supposed to be a stealth romance franchise starring Waluigi.
Stealth romance.
Where Waluigi,
questionable.
It was a trilogy originally planned as. And in the first game, you are playing as Waluigi and you're sneaking around, helping other Nintendo characters fall in love.
With other Nintendo characters?
Yeah, and it's essentially like mini games where there's just variations on game mechanics and play. The second game, I believe, And I don't believe I know this because I've thought about it so much. The second game,
Let me walk that back.
the second game was it started with all the Nintendo characters now coupled up at a party at someone's probably Peach's Peach's castle, and they're all coupled up except for Waluigi, who's he helped everyone else.
He
find
played
love.
matchmaker too
But now
well.
he's alone, so he goes out to his car. He's like, okay, everybody, I'm gonna go. I got like a date or whatever tonight. But then they just all look out and see Waluigi sitting in his car for like 30 minutes. He doesn't actually have a date.
man, that's
they can all
sad.
see him. So then they
Is this all a cutscene?
Yes, playable cutscene.
Oh, okay. Quick time events.
Yeah, it's QTs on Waluigi getting into his car, sighing,
Opening the glove box.
driving into his garage, rolling down the window, turning
Oh my God.
closing the door. And so then I believe it was that like the other characters are now helping Waluigi find love. By the third game, it was called Waluigi Sneak in Love.
Snake Eater.
I care for Wawa. Wawa, because at the end of the second game, you find love.
Sure.
You get married to who becomes the mother of your daughter Wawa.
Of course.
And then at the beginning of the third game, there's a very there's a very up-esque montage where Waluigi's wife.
Wawa goes bye-bye.
Well,
You know what I'm
Waluigi's
saying?
wife dies, and then he's a single father to Wawa, and transition maybe 15 years later, and Wawa is about to go to college, and Waluigi, he's still a
You cheering up?
bachelor.
You're getting choked up.
I can't. He's still a bachelor, and he's about to be separated from his daughter. So Wawa says, "Let's go on a road trip together."
Yeah.
And like one final.
It's like a coming of age.
One final.
One final, and I think it was that.
Look around. It's
Yo,
an
what?
I think it was that he like discovered that like she had a diary. He started reading her diary or something, and then he was helping Wawa like become a woman. I don't remember exactly
Whoa,
how,
okay. All
how,
right.
how it played out. Like,
Well, I don't
he was
want to know the
helping her
ending.
find
Yeah,
love.
spoilers.
I'm
No,
Spoiler
but
away,
yeah,
yeah.
there was a whole
Yeah.
like Waluigi Sneak in Love. I can't remember what the second Waluigi. Oh, the second game was called Waluigi Sneak in Love. Was it I Care for You or
2.8
what
HD
the fuck
remix.
was it called? I'm sorry, I don't remember what
chapter.
it's called.
Dissidia Duodecum.
But man,
Wikipedia.
stealth romance game.
They don't make enough of those.
Kyle, Ian, and I think we had Magic.
Yeah.
And if you guys have any connections at Nintendo, and
We'll let you know. We'll hit up Mr. Nintendo for you. Elyse, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you
Yeah,
guys
you
for
were
great.
having me.
Ben.
This was
Freaking awesome.
real fun.
We need to have you back. We need to come down and do stuff with you.
I'd love to. Anytime you guys are in LA, please like come to us.
Oh, we shall.
We love you guys.
We shall.
Oh, dude, you don't
Andy
have to.
don't. Andy don't.
You don't have to worry about that.
Andy.
I'll be there,
no,
man.
dude. No. It's-
I will be there.
oh, my God.
Resume
All right.
in
Until
hand.
next week, I love you.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Well, that was a fun episode. You can click here to subscribe to Kind of Funny Games. You can click there to subscribe to Kind of Funny. You can click here to support us on Patreon. You get party modes early. It makes it worth $1 for sure.